But here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull a producer Blake for producer Blake, and I'm gonna say, let's cut up everything into here and then go into the episode, because that was just sad and grim. But now we're working. But here we go. We've got an amazing episode on deck for you today. I'm very excited to have on this guest. We've been playing basketball for weeks now. Y'all give it up for the very funny Vinnie Corrales. Thanks for coming out, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you.
I still don't know how to introduce a podcast guest, because I do it like I'm hosting a comedy show, and then there's just Blake.
Oh,
all right,
hell yeah.
Going to Seinfeld.
He's got soundboards.
We've got 4 buttons, and
There we go.
I thought that was his sport. I was like,
No, that was
Sanford
me.
and Sons. How did you load that one?
I always forget which one it is that does the clapping.
We're not doing great here at the soundboards. But Vinny is coming on today because he's got a very cool opportunity coming up, and we wanted to get this promoted for him because he's very funny and a very cool guy, and I love getting to talk to him. But Vinny, go ahead and tell the people at home listening what you've got coming up and where to follow you at.
The big thing I got coming up is I'm gonna go see Longlegs next Thursday with my wife.
Hell yeah. And you've
Yeah.
been writing a whole lot of stuff with this?
Yeah, and I'm just here to promote my my Longlegs movie.
Are you doing like a 2-parter afterwards with your thoughts on it? Or just going to watch it?
No, we just bought a ticket for next Thursday.
Yeah, we're just real excited to go.
Yeah. And we've heard good things, and Nick Cage is a genius, obviously. So
That's what Blake's been telling me. Blake's a big believer in what do you have, Colonel Blake back, or Colonel Nick Cage back there?
Colonel Nick Cage back here.
Yeah.
You can't see it, but
okay,
That's
you do like Nick Cage?
oh, I love Nick Cage.
I mean,
My
everything he
favorite
touches
actor.
gold. I think.
Face Off.
He told me the other day
Yeah,
that
Face
was
Off's
his
great.
favorite actor, and I don't know if that's a crazy statement. or not.
Watch Leaving Las Vegas, and then tell me he's not a great actor.
I'm not saying he's not a great actor. I'm just saying him being your favorite is refreshing because it's new and unheard of,
Yeah.
but crazy. That's wild.
Well, I am crazy, and he's crazy. That's why he's my favorite actor.
All right, okay, fair enough. This is why I keep you in that closet, Blake. You're such a lovable guy.
Hey,
By the way, great
math
movie,
adds up.
Longlegs.
It was a good movie.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, it was a good movie.
Great movie.
We did see it. but,
Speaking of good movies, have y'all either seen Deadpool yet?
Yeah.
oh yeah, I did see
Yeah.
it.
Dude,
Yeah, it was good.
that was, for as much as I don't like meta, that was great.
They do a good job with those. Yeah.
They did a really great job, and I'm assuming both of y'all stayed for the post-credit scene, especially.
I left.
Blake, what the
I had an agenda afterwards.
I stayed.
Okay. Well, you need to
I'm
go
a
look it up.
purist.
That's what I figured. I was like, I'll just look it up on YouTube later.
The post-credit scene, without spoiling the big one, is they did, during the credits, they were having BTS of the first X-Men, like, throughout the timeline, starting from the first X-Men
shit.
on. It was really cool. Like, it almost got me tear-jerked for a second, because I'm gay.
God.
It was gay as
Why
but I
would you
loved it.
admit that?
Did you jerk
That was
off
my
with the
whole, like-
tears? Like,
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
I went at 1 in the afternoon on a Sunday, which, by the way, guys, if you're moviegoers, do that. That's the best way to do it. But I went, and no one was there because they all left like you because they're stupid. And
I had to do. What do you mean I'm stupid?
you had to watch, Blake, and it was this post-credit scene. This is what we need. It was great. It was like, you got to see everyone, including, like, they made sure to bring back Channing Tatum because he was a beginning part to Gambit. And, like, they made that a huge deal that Gambit was coming
Damn, you're
back as.
spoiling, dude.
Blake, cut that out.
No, I'm not cutting it.
Blake, you have to cut that one out. I can't we have to appease the masses on this one.
You know what? If you have not seen the movie yet and you watch this and you get spoiled, that's on you, man. It's been out by the time this comes out,
If
about
the
a
movie
month.
was 10 years old, sure. This
cold-blooded.
movie just came
That's
out.
cold-blooded. Yeah.
you.
I'm just glad everyone here has seen it because I've done that a time or two.
I usually forget spoilers going in anyway, though. I try to in one ear, out the other. You
Yeah.
know, like I keep the.
Especially now with everything,
Lenses
there's like
in there.
I watch so much Family Guy and South Park and like that, and they always spoof after a certain point those TV shows and like those old movies, so I end up seeing it anyways.
Oh yeah, so it's already internalized in you.
Right, like
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of Star Wars growing up, so I saw like a couple of the big ones. Like I saw Episode 4 and 4 through 6, and then I don't think I ever saw the pre-trilogy. But I figured it out watching Family Guy and South Park.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty cut and dry. It's not too complex.
Right. Well, like at a certain point.
But I guess when you're a
everything-
kid, it seems a little bit more daunting because it's like sci-fi. And
It's good. It's good-looking people in space. It's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, but it didn't look good.
No, good-looking people, not.
Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't disagreeing with you, Blake.
Oh, you seemed like you were trying to disagree with me.
No, God, no. I'm just kidding. But no, Vinny is actually here because he's got a very cool opportunity coming up at, you said about middle of September.
Middle of September, we are headlining the Addison Improv. Would love to get as many people out there as possible.
Blake, do we got any soundboard music? That's a big moment. Hell yeah, man. That's awesome. Headlining the Addison Improv. I don't know if we're even allowed to have opinions on this, but Addison Improv is my favorite place in the area. I love that club from a comedy goer's perspective.
Yeah, I heard Dave Attell once say it was his favorite club in the country.
Really?
Like that he like tours around, but he may have just
Wow.
been, flattering somebody. I don't know.
That's pretty cool, though. I mean,
But it's a good. I mean,
the godfather of a lot of comics right now.
yeah, he's a lot of like your favorite comics, favorite
Favorite
comics, favorite comic.
Right, and it's either him or Colin Quinn for favorite comics comic.
Yeah, or Lenny Bruce.
Oh yeah,
If
I never
you're
really-
really pretentious. I saw Miss Maisel.
my favorite growing up was always Mitch Hedberg because it was the least
Oh,
what I
yeah.
was like.
The first album I did, I brought a guitarlele on stage, and it was kind of like very inspired by the Mitch Hedberg. What was it? Strategic Grill Locations? Is that the one when he has like the bass accompaniment? One of them, he has like a bass player like just thumping away.
I mean,
as-
he only
as he's
did like
doing his
3
joke.
of them.
Yeah.
trying to
No,
think.
there's a few Mitch Hedberg.
There's a few of them that weren't like big specials that came out still. Because he's got Laugh Factory. He's got, oh man, I'm trying to think of the other two. Now I just remember Laugh Factory.
Okay. Mitchie, Strategic Grill Locations. Okay, that was 99. Mitch Altogether. Oh, yeah, that was a good one. And
Mitch
You Live in
Altogether.
Gosh. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he only had a couple because he passed away
Yeah.
so soon.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one of those, he has a bass player on it.
Right.
And I did the same similar thing.
Did you play for yourself?
Same
That's pretty sick.
Well,
Well, that's actually very impressive that you can play a song and tell jokes at the same time.
yeah, well, I wasn't doing like song shit. I'm just like vamping,
Right.
And
But
then,
as someone who has
just-
no musical talent, getting up there and not sounding like such an ass, that's one thing. And then getting to tell jokes over the top of it.
yeah,
You're like Kevin from The Office, who is secretly a savant.
yeah, it was. I mean, I don't know if I'd ever do it again though. I'm glad I got it out of my system.
You got to do weird.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's good to take chances because you've been doing it how long at this point?
Coming up on 2 years to where it's gay if I
yeah.
don't just say 2 years.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good time. Yeah, that's a great time to like experiment with your set. And, you should always be experimental with your set. Not even just 2 years in. You should always.
I've been at a really
trying to,
weird point where I heard one comic say something about how the crowd can tell how the crowd can tell when you're not telling the truth. And I was like, oh yeah, why am I not just telling the truth on stage? Why am I trying to be it so?
Yeah, but you'll say
theatrical with it?
like, I had this thing happen to me yesterday, but I've been hearing you tell that joke for a year. Like, you
Right.
know.
Well, it was more of the things that never happened. When I would just create a scene.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Like Dave Chappelle is the only comic that can really do that. I heard someone say once, they're like, you always know Dave Chappelle is making this up out of nowhere because he definitely didn't stab a homeless man on the train. But when
Yeah.
you just know and run with it because it's Dave Chappelle.
yeah,
he's
sure.
great.
Yeah, I think you could probably trace like people who are really good sketch writers to like.
That would make a lot of sense.
I bet
And
like
that-
Shane Gillis is kind of like a similar thing. He's pretty good
he's
sketch
able
writer,
to just kind of pluck something out of nowhere and just go with it. That does make sense, actually. But yeah, recently I've been just a pivot. I've been angry on stage.
Yeah.
I'm a hothead at heart, and
It's working.
yeah, Blake got to see it.
Yeah.
That's such a
I saw a set probably 2 weekends ago, and he just went on a huge rant, and I was like, dude, that might have been the best set I've seen you do.
yeah. Graffiti Pasta, if you haven't been yet, is choice.
No, I haven't been.
Yeah.
Is
It's
that's the one in Denton, the new one in Denton.
Yeah, it's a kill box, man. It's
Okay.
it's a concrete basement, so echoes are popping. There's really only one quote-unquote problem, but it kind of gives character to the spot, but there's just support beams down the middle of the row because they have a full-fledged restaurant above them. But it is a really cool vibe down there. Everyone there...
Is it in, like, downtown Denton? Is it in the square?
Yeah,
Right off
in
the
the square. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And everyone there is actually, like, there for comedy. They're not there for a show. They're there to see comedy. They're all big comedy fans. To the point where I've had comics, like, come to the side and ask me, is it easy? I was like, no, they're just comedy fans, man. This is a good crowd.
Oh, yeah.
Lauren with Denton Comedy Spot does a really good job, and she's really revitalizing Denton comedy, and Blake's a testament of it.
Yeah, I live there, so I've been looking for a good comedy spot in Denton.
You live in Denton?
Yeah.
You don't live here?
No.
Does anybody live here with you?
No, just my cat's over there.
We
'cause
probably
I'm-
would have killed each other by now if we lived.
Yeah, we talk a lot over text, and
We see each other just enough to where we do not get sick of each other.
yeah, it's
And-
really, we talk very well over text, and then we realize once we see each other for an episode, it's like, oh yeah, it's been like 3 weeks. Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
And then even with that, we have our hey, how's it goings, and then we have to break up so he can go do the podcast studio, and I think it's more so he can get away from my ADHD ass.
I took pictures there, and
I'm talking about our relationship. I took pictures.
ADHD.
But yeah, no, it's a really cool vibe too. Like this is just they've got a huge mural of the background.
Swindell.
And they've got some guys that are like just Denton exclusive people that are, if they really got their 10,000 hours in, they'd be great.
Oh, yeah, we used to do this place called Mabel Peabody's in Denton. Which
I've heard
a,
tales of Mabel Peabody's.
Which was like a chainsaw repair place / like drag bar, basically.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What
Was it
happened
run
to
by
it?
lesbians? Is that how the chainsaws got there?
I think so, yeah. And,
course it is.
yeah, they had a great stage, and it was off to the side, and man, it was cool because at that time, there was a lot of like cool like musical
Yeah.
like comedy happening in Denton because I mean, like it's such a great music school over there.
Yeah.
You know,
They always got just super
dude,
artistic.
you guys know who Bart Crow is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The country singer.
No. He plays bass. He's a bass player. But
Okay,
he's from no, or Brett Crow. Brett Crow. Maybe I'm thinking of Brett Crow. One of these. Brett Crow, Bart Crow. I don't know.
But same thing with Leon Ridges, I think is his name. Leon Bridges.
Leon Bridges is from Fort Worth.
Yeah. We've got. Okay, so not Denton, but
Maybe
I think he went to
maybe Bart
UNT,
Crow.
maybe. Or
Oh,
something.
there he is, right there. Yeah, hell yeah, Brett Crow. Yeah,
This guy?
yeah, this guy's awesome.
I'm pretty sure that's the guy that runs my vape shop.
I mean, 378,000 subscribers.
Maybe not, but
Holy.
Yeah, I'm
we need to
telling
get
you,
Brett Crow on the
He's
podcast.
killing it.
Brett Crow, come on, baby.
But he would do these really cool, like funny bass, songs. I mean, but he rips. I
Damn,
mean,
he does.
he
Yeah.
thumps, dude.
That's sick as.
But yeah,
I wish I got into bass as a kid.
yeah, it's a talent.
Are you a Tool fan at all?
I respect Tool.
Okay. I respect that. Not a whole lot of people like metal, and I get that.
Yeah,
But
I like metal.
oh really?
Yeah,
Okay.
Is Tool really metal though?
I mean,
It's prog metal. It's not even prog
it's
rock.
like
It's
on.
prog.
It's like on
It's,
the line of like alternative and grunge, and
Especially when they started, it was stoner metal. Is
Yeah.
what it was always called, and that makes sense as to how I found it. But my uncle and cousin, they're both very musically inclined. Rip on the drums, like they are shredders, and they
Oh,
were
nice.
playing like half of 46 and 2, the album that everyone kind of
Yeah.
knows.
yeah,
They were playing just half of the set list, just back and forth. My uncle would be on the guitar, and my cousin would be playing the drums, and he's like, I want to play the guitar now. My cousin, who's 4 years younger than I am, who I always looked at like kind of a little brother, he's just shredding on the guitar. I'm like, oh my God, he's so much cooler than I am. What the happened?
That's funny because like the guy who was like killing it as a drummer at our high school, that's the way he taught himself how to drum was
Tool?
putting Tool on and just learn. So
That's crazy
there's
too.
something about the
because
accessibility of Tool to like really, really,
he,
technical drummers that they're really drawn to.
it does make sense too, though, because he, along with Neil Peart and John Bonham, really. They're all like the top 3 drummers. So I guess if you're starting out as like a beginning drummer, you go look at the people you idolize, and Danny Carey with Tool is insane. So if you can actually rip that, there's a live video I watch when I get really edible high, and it's a 11-minute song where he's just ripping on the drums. And up until I watched this video, I thought there were just wind chimes on the soundtrack or something. It's he's doing with the drum mechanics. Like, he's hitting the side of the drum to get this, like, rain-sounding noise. And he's just staring off into space the whole time. Like, he doesn't blink, and he doesn't look at the drums. He's just autistically playing the drums perfectly for 12 minutes straight. You just look at that and like, I wasn't meant to do anything. Like, this guy is a god.
He's a vessel.
It's amazing how many musicians are actually self-taught. Like, Kid Rock taught himself how to do
that
everything.
Makes sense. That's not that. That's not that
Dude,
unheard of.
Kid Rock actually rocks.
Dude,
he does rock,
he
but he's
ass.
also
He does rock. I've actually seen Kid Rock maybe like 9 times.
I've
in
heard
my
it's
life,
a
'cause
great
my dad
performance.
was a huge Kid Rock fan.
American Badass.
Back in the pre-American Badass, dude. We're talking like Devil Without a Cause. We're talking Twisted Brown Trucker Band.
Was American Badass, was that the song they walked out to the Trump rally recently?
Yeah,
Did y'all hear
I think
about
so.
Maybe, yeah.
They played the whole song to walk Trump out, except for the very last stanza where they say, "And I'm gonna kill every motherfucker in here" or something like that. It's just one crazy last Kid Rock line, then they just cut it off right before it.
Yeah, I was actually nervous about just making sure I triple checked that I got the right house, because you were like, just walk right in, the door's unlocked.
Yeah.
And I was like, there is a lot of like Trump flags around
Yeah.
here. I don't want to
Yeah, I
just
do.
like accidentally like try to open somebody's door.
I stay as long as I can inside this house, because once you get out, it's very just Mad Max of trash. Like, just trashy people all around the corner. Except for this guy right here. I always give him his props. He's a very nice man, and I see him at the gym every morning, and he shakes my hand and goes, "Hey, how you doing?" And he's just retired and has grandkids. He's a great guy. I love him. I want to get him high for the first time, I'm assuming.
You should get him
Dude.
on the podcast.
My old neighbor, he used to, he was like a Gold Glove boxer in Houston.
Really?
Yeah, back in like the like World War II era. I mean, he was like, man, this is like my house, like when I grew up at, and he would do this thing because it would flood a lot down there. He would do this thing where
Start punching the water until it was gone.
that was just one facet of how he was like a badass. Okay, this is the other part. This is the part 2 that I was like, holy. So he would after it would flood, we would get water moccasins. Was like a bad snake problem. 'Cause
Right.
we live pretty close to the bayous, and he would go around with like a stake and just just get these water moccasins in the head, dude. And he would come to show all the kids in the neighborhood. It was like a kebab of water moccasins that he would have. He would have on the stake. He would have, I'm not exaggerating, probably 30 to 40 water moccasins.
Holy
They don't make
on one
motherfuckers like that anymore.
Yeah,
I was going to say, back then they might have had a water moccasin, bring them to the government office, they'll give you some money type of deal, too.
yeah. I don't know what he did. He probably sold them for people to make boots. Dude, skin them.
There was a video that I used to always just sit down and watch of this dude that made rattlesnake boots off the side of the road for a man in 45 seconds. He skinned this rattlesnake and then just made a pair of boots on the side of a road of 2 snakes he just killed. He didn't kill them to make the boots. He killed them because they were snakes. And then he was like, I'll make boots. And then just did in less than a minute for sure.
There's a really cool festival in Sweetwater, Texas called the Rattlesnake Festival. It's everything you're imagining right now.
Oh, God.
I mean,
Gomez's Western wear and apparel?
Upon that, it's tens of thousands of live rattlesnakes that are just,
It's a snake pit.
Yeah, because people just wrangle them up all year and get them ready for the festival basically
the
in one
fuck
way
is
or
wrong
the
with
other,
these
either
people?
live or it's a real problem. You step on the wrong bush, you might you might change the trajectory of your life.
No, I just mean keeping them. I completely understand
well,
having a snake
I think
problem.
at that point they're probably killing them and skinning them and turning them into something to sell at the festival later.
Oh,
like
I
a
was thinking
wallet or
tens of
something.
thousands of live snakes, and then they all just I don't know why I
Well,
thought this.
there is pits that they have of
Oh, so that was real.
I mean, they do have pit. Yeah, I mean, it's like swimming pools. Let's put it that way: swimming pools of.
So
snakes.
it's more like Indiana Jones when he takes the lid off of that crypt.
Yeah, it's
Oh God,
yeah, but they're out there exposed.
that makes my skin crawl, dude.
It makes my skin slither.
That was one of those things. Is like my dad had one of those moments too, where we were at like a football. It was a little league football picture ceremony for the preseason, and we were all in our good, like, nice clothing or our nice uniforms. And out of nowhere, we hear like a couple little kids scream, and my dad runs over there. And I'm like, huh, what's he doing by the creek over there? And I see him in the distance just go, wha-pow. And he walks back with half of a snake. And I go, I killed a snake. You know, when you're like 7, you're like, my dad can never die. Oh my God.
Yeah, that'll really make him seem like a god. I mean, 'cause snake is a huge fear, especially for a kid. So
that, and I thought ripping one in half was crazy, and then you just have a guy that's poking him in the head just 40 at a day.
yeah, that guy was a legend. Yeah, his name was. I don't know what his first name was, but Mr. Blair is what we called him. So shout out, Mr. Blair. You've been dead for probably 20 years now, but
One of those snakes got
your
him.
memory will never be forgotten. It'll live on YouTube forever.
It's random enough, but just because we both know him, and you brought it up, Kane is technically a Golden Glove boxer.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, we brought that up on the podcast, and when he was younger, he was in boxing, and he got to, like, the tournament, and no one was in his weight class, and he just accidentally fell into a championship. He was like, all right, I'll take it. But he brought that up. I'm like, Kane, how have you not told everyone this? How are you not telling every single person you're Kane, the comedian, Golden Glove boxer?
Yeah, man, I had no idea. You would never know that by his physique or the way he, you know.
I wonder if he could still whip it. Like,
Oh, yeah, that's a
Dude.
skill that you'll always have. Yeah, that's like a superpower.
that just
for
comes
sure.
back.
That's like
I
a
mean,
superpower.
Look at Butterbean. Like, he was built like.
Have you looked at Butterbean recently, dude? Pull
Yeah,
up a
he's-
picture of Butterbean now. He is gonna die
I
soon.
think he's facing some tough times.
Yeah, man. They
He's on-
said like
yeah.
every joint in his body is fucked. I
I remember in 3rd grade getting in trouble for calling a girl Butterbean.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, was she being rude?
Yeah, well, probably not, actually.
okay.
I was probably just being mean because I liked her.
Ah. He looks. I don't want to say he looks better because those are the biggest tits.
No, I
I've
thought that
ever
was.
seen.
Is that not him on the left?
I think
No,
that
he.
was.
It looks like he's
maybe-
losing weight
maybe
now.
He's
Okay.
he's on Ozempic.
Okay.
It's a great drug.
He-
Up until I recently heard that Ozempic, if you're taking Ozempic and on birth control, you can get. There's a higher probability of getting pregnant because the Ozempic eats away at the birth control. So
Don't-
if you're on,
Don't fuck fat bitches.
well, do what you like, but don't dump inside of them. Wear a condom. Do what Drake did and put some hot sauce in there. That would be hilarious.
Oh, damn.
Did you ever hear about that, Blake?
No,
No,
what
that
the
sounds
fuck?
cruel.
Did you not hear about that?
No.
Drake was putting hot sauce into his condoms after he got done because
Oh.
chicks were trying to empty them into their vagina.
Oh,
And like they got fire pussy if they were trying to get a Drake baby.
dude, that's awesome.
That's great. That's such a bro win for us. As much as I hate Drake and I hated him
Ugh.
prior to the conflict that Kendrick won, shout out. Kung Fu Kenny won, but I hated Drake since Big Rings. I hated him early. I have not liked that.
See,
well,
I
no,
like
I
Drake.
hated him since Degrassi. So how about that?
I kind of like Degrassi. But you got me. You got me. I'm infinitesimal to your hate for Drake. Oh man, do you ever get caught in those conversations about like the biggest one obviously being Drake and Kendrick outside of the comedy clubs?
Drake and Kendrick is Israel Palestine for people who don't read. That's
Right on the nose. And as someone who is an avid fan of that beef, I can attest. I try
What,
my
Palestine?
best to read. No, not reading. Don't lump me into that. I'll get kicked out of comedy clubs. If you wrote me into a side, I'll get fucking...
Just don't be pro Israel and you'll be fine.
Yeah. In the future, I'm pro nothing and no one. If that helps me or hurts me, I have no idea.
He's in a corner now. He's trying to pivot. Just pivot. You're gonna have to do something. Take your shirt off. Mention the bucket hat.
Well, I guess we could. I'm not trying to look exactly like Vinny. That just kind of accidentally
Nor
playing
I.
like that.
We're just both going for something.
Yeah, it's a real thing, and it is. I put it on, and fucking Blank's like, "Why are you wearing
I'm
a
going
bucket
for
hat?"
something with this shirt too. Very few people have
Yeah, what is
notice what the shirt is.
that? Demolition?
One guy at the show, at the Cowabunga show last night, knew what the shirt was.
Is
I gave him a shout out on stage.
Is that one of those YouTube shows where they just blow shit up?
Yeah, kind of. yeah. But like, maybe you can figure out who wore it. I don't know. We'll let the viewer decide if they can figure out who wore this shirt.
Did you steal it from somebody?
No, I didn't steal it from anybody. I mean, I stole the style. I can tell you that.
I don't know. You kind of look more like Ethan Suplee, if anything. Have you seen him recently?
Yeah, he
Damn,
looks
the
great.
dude from Boy Meets World.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. That's where you pull him from.
Yeah, he
My
was the
name
big
is
guy.
Earl.
He was Joey the Rats. Like,
Remember the
Wacky.
Titans? No, you nailed
the
it. He
Titans,
was just in like 2 episodes.
Yeah. Louis Elastic.
Yeah, I'm surprised that got me so well. You weren't wrong, and I'm right there with you. But it was just funny enough. I've never heard someone pull him from Boy Meets World.
yeah, but now that I think about it, it's kind of insulting because that dude was like 400 pounds.
No, but now he looks amazing.
I know, but yeah, I look like somebody who's just lost 300
Yeah, but you look like
pounds.
you're wearing a big shirt because now you have the confidence to wear big shirts rather than need to wear shirts that fit.
Ah, I see. I think it's the opposite. I think I'm wearing a big shirt to disguise.
Nah, you're
What-
lying to
what
yourself.
is
He's the most
inevitable?
confident. He's got the biggest dick. He's wearing shorts right now, and you can't see it because of the table, but I'm looking directly at it. I'm looking into that Cyclops eye. Look at that guy.
Yeah, he's ripped. He looks.
Good for him, and I'm
I
pretty
mean,
sure he
that's
did
a
it without
beefcake.
any
That's
drugs.
a certified beef.
No, yeah.
Oh yeah, this is pre-Ozempic.
I used to listen to his podcast during the pandemic. He
Really?
runs like a health and fitness podcast, American Glutton.
Oh, yeah.
Really interesting guy, and he talks about his whole entire process, and he has all these different doctors and shit on. Yeah, he does it all legit.
That's good. I like when people do it legit. As someone who was an ex-fat, like,
Well,
what's
You were
weird-
an expat,
yeah.
like an expat.
I was like, when I went to college, I was like 280, and at a certain point, I had lost a little bit of weight because I had just started moving correctly. I'd learned
Yeah.
how to lose weight correctly
Because of the back injury.
It wasn't even that because I kind of came back from that.
Okay.
It was really ultimately what did it was getting cut from the baseball team. Then I just kind of went into a depression.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Like I played football my whole life, but I also played baseball my whole life, and that was my deal.
Oh my God. He plays basketball with us too.
Not well.
This house actually is a great representation of your like basketball skills.
You
I've got
probably
one
play
skill, and the rest
basketball
of it
in
looks like
here.
it's gonna fall apart.
Well, yeah, here it's like it's like wow, this is incredible, but out there it's very like.
This is my
bleak,
one mid-range jump shot that I can kind of hit every once
I
in a while.
know.
And I
he
don't even know
came-
how.
He came out the very first day and went and like grabbed the rim, and I was like, "Oh, damn,
Well,
this dude, he's gonna be nice with these."
I'm dog shit. I'm just large for no reason. Like that's all it is.
Nah, but we just have fun out there. But God damn it, dude, I was playing my best basketball ever when I hurt my foot.
Also, you can't see it just like his wiener. But yeah, he hurt his ankle in this basketball league, being a goddamn hero.
Oh my God, dude, I was like 8 for 10 from 3. I mean, something was just clicking. I was just feeling it,
You have the game of your life.
dude. And then we were like, and then so we were like one last game, right? One last game. But everybody was playing so well
You can't get greedy.
that it was an efficient game that went by very quickly. So
Ah.
everybody still had energy. And so we were like, okay, one more game. One last game. We make it to it's like 10-8. I go up for a rebound and I come down on Trey Mack's foot.
Oh,
Worst ankle roll of my life, dude. And one time I was like climbing. I used to like climb like rock, the bouldering shit before it got popular. I sound like a hipster. A bouldering hipster.
Should have made clear. Like,
Yeah, the gyms are too packed now. I mean, it's all like family friendly and shit. It didn't used to be like that. It used to feel like skating almost, but
family friendly in a physical atmosphere doesn't make sense. If I fuck something up, if I'm in the gym or I'm working out, I want to be able to curse and do
Yeah.
I go there to be an anger monster so I can go live a normal life at my job.
yeah, exactly. Like they used to play like rap music frequently, and then like Big Sean came on the other day. They like turned it off. I was like, yeah, I think I'm canceling my membership at this place.
Really, for Big Sean?
No,
I would-
it was just that wasn't the final straw.
Skipping
That
rap
was
is a
just-
problem. Skipping Big Sean is A-okay in my book. He's dog
Well, that's
shit.
what I'm saying, but it's just like, oh, this was too much for y'all. This was so
Big Sean was too much for you?
Yeah, so I don't know. So I came down once and then fell on my ankle bad, and I heard 2 pops, pop, pop, and that one hurt for a while. But then this ankle injury, hooping, I came down, I heard pop, 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 3 pops. Oh, I was down. I was like screaming. I felt like such a fucking pussy, dude.
But then you left on your badass motorcycle.
No, I did not. We had to call my wife to come pick me up, dude.
I tried to give you some.
Yeah, and I couldn't even get to my phone. They had to like come over there. It was like Revis was coming over there. Hey, we gotta call your wife. Let's get... So my wife had to come pick me up.
I'm sorry, man. I tried to set you up there.
No, there's no setting up, dude. No, this was
There's no shame.
no shame. This is what happened.
Yeah, I'm really waiting for the day that just like I've had a couple
Dude,
close call injuries.
You know what happened to
and
Michael
coughing.
Moore, right?
No, what happened to Michael?
He tore his Achilles.
When?
Hooping like 3 weeks ago.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that fucking sucks.
I know,
dude.
non-contact injury too.
Fuck me.
Dude, I was balling.
He was like 2 minutes into our game and this happened.
I was balling a couple weeks
Pulled an
ago,
Aaron Rodgers.
and I'm out of shape, so I'm trying to get back into shape. And I played 2 games, and I felt like my Achilles was about to pop.
Oh
Yeah. And I was
Yeah.
like,
You gotta-
I'm done,
A
fellas.
lot of people forget that you got to stretch those, especially when you get older.
Well, just also be in shape before you try to do anything athletic.
Well, no, because then people won't get in shape.
Yeah.
Well, basketball's a hell. Like it gets you in shape quick.
If you're doing it, if you're playing
Yeah.
a basketball game, Jesus, I mean, Vinny can attest. I'm an asthmatic pussy. Like I'm the only person that calls a sub in the games that we play. I'll sit out.
It's happened a couple times since,
happened
since
qu-
you've last been out.
Okay, I was gonna say,
Not to you. It's to other people. I'm saying like
Well,
they've had.
I'm still the only person that consecutively does it every time he comes.
Well, the fact that you're out there is the win.
That's
It
the
must-
win.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's just like it's fun to just break a sweat and just it's like everybody's just athletic and competitive enough that it's like fun. They're in the same
Yeah,
margin of both sides.
that was my biggest problem. Like I think it was the last time I went was the last time that I got down there, and like I kind of popped at one of the teammates because he had the same idea that you did. Like I jumped up and touched the rim just to try that out and get my knees working, and then I just was nothing on defense. I wouldn't dunk or anything like that because I probably can't, and all this. And he started like chirping at me, and I'm gonna do my best to not say his name, but if I do, please bleep it out because he'll talk to me about it for sure.
Give you a spanking.
No, he'll just talk at me, and that's just a conversation that makes me feel like someone stabbed me in the belly. But it got to a point where I go to these basketball games after I work out in the morning on a Saturday because I can't sleep past 8. I don't know what that is, but I'm already tired once I get to basketball. This is just to hang out with y'all, like I've said before, because I don't even like basketball. I just want to hang out with you guys in a non-comedy function.
That's fun too.
Yeah, it's a very fun hang.
The
especially-
camaraderie helps me get out of bed too.
Exactly.
On
Once we're-
Saturdays, it's nice to have that.
The very fun part is after the game is done and we're sitting on the table in the 5 minutes until we go to a new game. That's my favorite part.
Yeah,
It's just getting to talk with everyone and kick the shit like we're in a locker room again.
yeah,
basically.
yeah, for sure.
But he was wanting to get me to try way harder than I wanted to at 11 o'clock in the morning. And I was just like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Oh
We're
damn!
stealing a basketball court outside of a boys and girls club.
I know
We're
who-
not trying.
I know who this is. He has toned it down since then. He has. He's gotten the message.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
don't want to be the
I
dude that's
expressed
also
in the group
trying
chat
hard.
that I was like, if you take this too seriously, you're gonna get removed from this group chat. Like, so just don't do that. Just understand that we're just trying to get people, to come out and have fun. And
Honestly, I say this now. I'm taking back my earlier statement. The best part is watching comics come out who, for lack of better terms, because we love them for it, aren't great at basketball.
yeah,
But they work so fucking hard.
yeah.
Shout out to Danny McGow. He ran 5 miles, I'm assuming, during one game, just getting every fucking ball that went stray. He was just sprinting. Danny McGow, I don't know. Do you know Danny?
No, I don't.
Damn it. He's one I want to get on the podcast, but he's such a stray alley cat that you can't corner him for more than like 5 minutes.
That's
But
a cool quality.
I love him. But he was just sprinting. I called him a little water bug. He was just everywhere the whole time. It was just making me laugh that Danny was surprisingly way more athletic than anyone
Yeah,
would
he
give
was
him.
scrappy. He was.
He's a nice little.
I mean, you'd be surprised some of these people who can actually are like, they got. I mean, Revis has a pretty good shot.
I was gonna say, I knew Revis was gonna be a big help on our softball team. Did not give him any ounce of energy
Now, how
into
is
basketball.
that going? How's the softball?
Really
going?
bad. Really bad, but it's getting more fun, which is what we need to get to.
Okay.
Because half the team hasn't played softball before, So
Yeah.
I knew coming in we weren't going to win any games, maybe one at best. But once again, bringing up my hothead isms, I've had to tone myself back out on the softball field. And once again, I'm so sorry, Peyton, that was on me. But it's been fun, and we're getting better, especially as we're finding what people go in what positions.
Yeah.
'Cause a big problem with the other softball team in past is they would get people for the required amount of girls, but then they would never get off the bench. And I was like, yeah, I'll pay $50. I'm not gonna have y'all sit on the bench. That's fucking stupid. So I'm transferring them out. They get to play infield, outfield, wherever they want to go. But sometimes they don't do well in these positions.
Oh my
And-
God. Are
Yeah.
you the coach of this thing? Are you?
Honestly, yeah, it is
Okay.
crazy. It's
I asked him, I was like, have you guys won a single game? He's like,
No. Are you kidding me? Have you
Why do
seen
you think
some
we
of
won't
the
win a
people on
game?
this roster? It's-
yeah, all very funny.
The fact that
people.
you haven't had a forfeit really is the victory in all of these. It's surprising because you do need a certain amount of like girls to play, and it's
Yeah,
like
it's-
August in Texas.
Yeah,
You
and
know, there's a lot stacking
for-
against you.
for as many softball leagues as I've been in, this is the first time you ever needed 4 girls. Usually it's like you need 1 or 2 girls on the co-ed team at least. Please have more. But they'll give you an out automatically if
Yeah.
you have 3 girls or less.
This is Biden's America. This
Yeah.
is
What are they doing to this? No. That's what happens when you join a co-ed team. You find some ladies that are trying their best out there. But it's been very fun. And it's also really cool that once given the opportunity, people want to go try to get in shape.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You've given that opportunity to people to go play basketball, and being an ex-fat kid who went through eating disorders to come back, and now I'm doing everything correctly. It's cool to have a positive outlook because a lot of people have a negative outlook on like going to the gym or going for a run.
Yeah, let me be clear. I do not go to the gym and I do not run. The
Yeah.
only thing I do is go play basketball.
what's
Yeah,
a good
and-
workout? Like I just said.
I have to have fun doing it, or
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it.
Well,
Like,
and the thing is,
going
like a
to the
lot of
gym is
people
not
go
fun.
to play basketball and they go and play like 2 games and then they sit down and talk for the whole time. This is why I have to tap out. We play like 8 games.
Yeah, we play a lot. We
And
play.
it's specifically we play like 4 or 5-on-5 with every single person that came, except for sometimes one kid that's at the Boys and Girls Club will walk up out of nowhere and I sub him into the game. Like, come here. I need to go sit in my car and come back happier in 15 minutes.
Yeah, but the courts are great, right? I mean,
The courts are great, other than like there's 2 dead squares that if you'll step on it, they move.
yes, yeah, that is very true, very true. But I'll sacrifice that for single rims.
Single rims and a dry court for it being an
'cause
outside court.
the pavilion. Yeah, the pavilion is beautiful.
The pavilion and the floor is corrugated, so all the water goes somewhere else.
Corrugated. That's the word. I've been trying to.
I was sitting there doing the same thing when I was looking at during the first game.
Okay, how'd you figure it out?
Cody Swindell,
Oh, nice.
that white trash
he
knows
can
everything
surprise.
about.
He's pretty slick with the ball.
He's the real water bug, man.
dude. He'll have some behind the
Really?
back passes. I mean, accurate. Like
Without saying the N word, he's a real Jason Nash.
Jason
All right, did y'all
Kidd,
not see?
Steve
Oh,
Nash, Jason Kidd.
damn it! All right,
I thought you were just
Jason
trying
Williams,
to be funny.
all
all right.
Yeah,
Welcome back
Jason
to the Dingbat
Williams.
district where I fuck shit up entirely. Who was I thinking of?
Steve Nash, Jason Williams, or Jason Kidd.
Jason. Who is white chocolate? I'm not a basketball
Jason
player.
Williams.
Jason Williams.
Jason
yeah.
Williams.
Yeah,
Well, he recently said the N word on a podcast, which is what I was referring to.
really. But I mean, he's.
Everyone on the podcast, which was all basketball players, were like, ah.
Yeah, I mean, come on. He seems like he's part of that culture. He's embedded.
Yeah.
You know, him and Randy Moss went to the same high school.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Dude, they were
Yeah.
a killer duo in
Yeah, they
basketball.
were. Yeah, can you imagine?
Holy
Randy
shit.
Moss was like 6'4".
Oh my god! I always think about shit like that, like the people that go on.
West
these-
Virginia, right? I think they were in West Virginia.
Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah. Randy's from West Virginia.
So they're both. Yeah, because he went to Marshall. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a true country boy. He was talking about that too. He's like, it's crazy. No one believes I was a country boy, and then they come back home with me. Like, yeah, no, we live out in West Virginia. But like you go and hear these people that also played basketball when they are now in the NFL for being a tight end, like Antonio Gates on the Chargers.
Oh yeah, he was
He
a
would-
basketball player.
Yeah, he was a basketball
Tony
player
Gonzalez.
at UCLA, maybe.
Yeah,
or
Mike
something like-
Evans.
Yeah,
He played basketball at Galveston Ball.
all these people are in the March Madness tournament at some point. That's pretty fucking sick.
Yeah, if I had the skill set to do either one of those, I'm definitely going basketball.
Oh, really?
For sure. I mean, you go to the NBA or the NFL, you get maybe 3 years on average.
Yeah. You make way more money playing basketball.
Way
too.
more money, and it's like think about what it's way less physically demanding. You're not like just constantly getting like hit.
As long as you don't do drugs in the NBA, you will have at least a 5 to 10 year career.
Yeah,
Well,
probably. I mean,
Hard drugs. They don't care if you smoke weed now.
I don't really consider that a drug.
Okay, fair enough. I'm the dork this time. Yeah, man. I mean, I guess I'm biased because I just don't like basketball all that much. But you got to give me football all day long, and I'd love to be a backup kicker or something. Like, if you watch Blue Mountain
That'd be
State,
nice.
I want to be like Alex Moran, but maybe even worse. I want to never touch the field.
yeah, that would be ideal. Even
I-
just being on the practice team, like as a practice team quarterback or something.
Yeah, theoretically, I really just want to end up getting a coaching squad at the end of my 5-year tenure from the practice squad.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
work
but
in
you
the
got to
front
wake up
office.
to it. I mean, I'm not into that whole waking up early thing.
Honestly, if football was a 5 p.m. thing, I'd be a football coach right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's just I like more. I like mornings. They just come at such a inconvenient part of the day. You know.
That's such a great way to put that. Yeah, no, like, especially the older I get, the less I'm sleeping in and the less I'm able to sleep in. But even if I wake up on my own at 7, I don't want to talk to anyone until 11. Like, even just being around people and having to do shit with a bunch of children, I couldn't be a coach. There's not a chance in hell.
Yeah, it's but I mean, you are a coach. You coach this baseball team.
Not well. We lose every game.
Are you guys practicing?
We did before the season started.
Yeah,
Like,
nobody has time for that now.
yeah, there's no way that you're going to get me to do this softball team 2 days a week.
And it's like they know they're never going to win a game. Everybody's come to terms with that. So it's like everybody's playing for fun. Nobody's playing for pride, you know.
Well, I'm playing for a little pride, but as long as I keep that pride
What's
internal.
y'all's team called?
I think we got given a name. We're like the Field of Dreamers. Because
Got
I was
given
gonna,
a name.
yeah, I
They
think
don't let y'all pick.
I think I made it like DFW comedians, and the initial idea is my mom's got one of those heat presses, so I was gonna have her like put everyone's Instagram handle on the back.
Oh,
so it
that
was
would've been
kind of cool.
Yeah.
But then they changed our name to from DFW comedians to Field of Dreamers, I guess, and so I just didn't even fuck with it.
Yeah, I was in an intramural team in college, and we called ourselves Off in Left Field. So that way, even if we lost, the other team had to say we beat Off in Left Field.
That's a good name. That's
Yeah.
usually it's a whole lot of like everyone ripping Inglorious Batters, or there was a Home Plate Heroes or something like that. That's another.
She just called the team Dingbats.
Well, no, that's mine.
Dingbats would
That's
work.
lame.
Yeah, but it's your team.
Yeah, you're trying to
It's-
promote a podcast, like.
Yeah, you organized it, did you not?
If in all honesty, Facebook organized it. I just put it on the DFW.
Oh
comedians
my
page.
God! Yeah, you just organized the team. You got together a ragtag bunch of misfits.
I know. You got to stop giving me credit for this team because when we go 0-16, I don't want it to be my
Oh my
fault.
God, it's gonna be on his resume. He'll never get another coaching job after this.
I know, man. I'm trying to go to Marshall.
I know. I want to do a documentary on their softball shit. And after him telling me all this shit, I'm like, fuck, I really missed out on that.
Dude, if you would have gotten an episode for week 2 would have been the best episode of the whole season because, sorry, Peyton. Oh, man. But no, I'm.
Who's the best player on your team, excluding you?
Oh, probably. It's a tie between Nathan Rivas, who played ball in high school,
yeah.
and Aaron Ragas A-Train.
Oh, okay.
I know he was a high school quarterback. I can't
And
remember.
are
if he
you
played
judging this
baseball.
in terms of like fielding or?
Their
hitting?
fielding is both pretty good, and they're really good about being contact, get on base, get a single hitters.
Yeah.
So they're always They're always at the top of my lineup for my leadoff hitters.
Now this is slow pitch, right?
yeah,
There's
which
not
is-
people trying to smoke them in. Like it's
Oh no, there's
okay.
no one's throwing mustard.
Alright.
But there are a whole lot of people that just, for some reason, have such a beer gut that makes them hit a softball so hard. There was one guy that it hit the top of the yellow line and got sent straight down, and it made me like clench my butthole.
Has anybody on the team hit a home run?
No, they've got the fields out at 300 feet.
Oh,
Which
that's
is-
out there.
That's like high school level, which is crazy. And in the right field, so I can never hit a home run. They've got their own little green monster. It's like 20 feet tall. I'm like, why would you do that to me?
I think I can hit a home run on that field.
Okay, well, we're gonna pick you up at some point.
Dude,
You better.
I'm going to a baseball game on Monday.
Oh, really? Where are you going to see?
Astros.
Oh, fuck you. But just respectfully, is it Astros Rangers or?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, that's gonna be sweet.
Yeah.
Do you like the new stadium?
I went once. I was not greeted fondly.
Oh, wait, what happened?
I mean, just people were just, talking shit the whole time, but
Oh, Astros fan.
I was,
Gotcha.
I was
yeah.
talking a lot of shit too, so I had it coming.
That makes sense. I like. So, did you grow up in Houston?
Astros would like hit a home run? I'd be like, oh, it must have been the trash cans. It must have been the trash cans. That's why he hit it the home run.
They cheated though.
They just out cheated everybody. Let's
They
get
all-
into
they all
this.
cheat,
Yeah, let's
like-
get into this.
Here's the thing: they just got caught. Which, as someone who's cheated my whole life, I don't respect a loser when it comes to cheating. I never got caught when I was cheating. This has come up multiple times in me having different cheating stories. But
yeah, I guess that's fair. But I mean, like, Yankees were doing the same thing. Red Sox were doing the same thing.
They were all
Everybody,
fucking
sign
doing it.
stealing
Yeah.
is just as old as
Yeah.
the game itself.
They
Like,
need to just go back to putting pine tar back on the balls. That was the one thing that did piss me off because they've been doing that since the beginning of time.
people are
Yeah,
still doing
yeah,
it.
yeah.
It's not pine tar, but it's something like Vagisil on the brim of their hat now.
yeah,
Yeah,
or,
but the
or they'll put it
Vag-
on their forearm too.
The
Yeah.
Vagisil doesn't really do anything. They did a sports science on that. You actually have less control.
But I thought it was for zip. Like if you want control, you get the
You get
the
the pine tar.
But if you want zip, like on a fastball, you go with the slick shit.
You get a little bit more zip, but it's the pine tar is where it's at.
Fair enough. It makes sense. If you get older too, and you need all that stuff, and like you're not
Yeah.
gonna be throwing gas. Did you play baseball growing up?
I mean, not like in high school or anything. but,
Right. So I asked this, but Blake was talking, not on you. But did you grow up in Houston?
Yeah, like south of Houston, like closer to the beach.
Did you like that? That like I've got friends or not friends. I got family in Beaumont, and they seem to like it out there. But every time I go there, I fucking hate it.
Yeah, I mean, it was cool to grow up like on the beach, but I go back down there now, and it's just like so humid, and it floods so often, and the cementification of like Houston, it's like, the water doesn't get absorbed or it just like collects on the roads.
Yeah.
So all the infrastructure is like kind of crumbling. All the roads kind of suck.
Oh Jesus, it's just becoming the new
and
Katrina.
then the mosquitoes, dude. People up here complain about mosquitoes. I'm like, y'all have never felt a mosquito in your life, dude. And
They're the size of
like,
horseflies down
dude,
there.
yeah. I mean, yeah, you can hear them land.
Yeah,
you know?
it's they hum by your ear and you can hear
my
it.
hometown. We have our like little hometown festival is called the Mosquito Festival. They got this giant inflatable like 50-foot mosquito named Willie Manchu that they blow up, and the mayor anoints. This is the Mosquito Festival. He
Why does
fucking
where you're
chugs
from
like off or something.
idolize the worst animals?
Yeah,
Rattlesnakes and mosquitoes.
yeah, but yeah, I'm from Lake Jackson, which is home of Selena,
Oh.
Ron Paul, and Buc-ee's.
Oh. That's quite a roster you got there.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Bitty bitty bum bum to beaver nuggets. That's pretty that's nice. Did y'all watch the documentary in school? Did they like have y'all go through that in a class?
Of Selena,
Mm-hmm.
the Jennifer Lopez movie.
Yeah.
That was not a
That
documentary.
was a major motion picture.
yeah.
That was a biopic.
Biopic. Same word.
Okay. Yeah. Oh hell yeah, we watched it weekly. I would guess. Yeah. Yeah, she was like a god.
Yeah.
It's funny. There was I had an Uber driver who was playing Selena while he was taking me on a drive, which is great. That's already a great Uber ride. He's not talking to me, but then at some point he like pauses it goes from Selena's discography to a documentary in Spanish about Selena on the drive, and then he paused it and just starts in broken English telling me everything he loves about Selena. And I was like, God damn it. How just traffic kept getting worse. He was just he had 35 minutes of Selena information.
I mean, I've got a huge poster of her in my that house that my wife is like, why is this up? I'm like,
No, that makes sense. Oh, as someone who's got a Farrah Fawcett behind you, I can't talk shit, but also that's a great one. Is it like one of those
She's
huge
like right
old
above
school
my
fat
drums.
heads?
Yeah, I mean,
You take Adrian Beltre down, and fucking Selena goes up.
yeah. Wait, what was the question originally about like living down there? Did we like living down there or something?
To be honest, I don't know. I'm
Okay.
this is one of those where we were talking about in the last episode. This podcast should have definitely been called Scratch and Sniff. We get into no detail, but we touch on every topic. Oh, which actually kind of brings me to it. I'm curious. What was your first concert you ever went to?
Oh, it was Parliament Funkadelic, George Clinton and Parliament.
You went to George Clinton in Parliament Funkadelic.
I've
That's
probably
sick.
seen them maybe like 12 times or something. Yeah.
Really?
I've seen them a lot, and I've seen like BB King probably like 10 times.
Is
and
this-
then Kid Rock like 9 times.
BB King.
Yeah.
Damn.
I caught his towel once. He like threw it in Galveston. He like threw it out in the stand. I was like wrestling this like 40-year-old woman for it. I was like 9 or something at the
So
time.
is
you
this like your parents taking you to these things, or are you actively seeking these shows out?
know? Oh, I mean, I was a kid, but like,
Right.
you know, that's what my parents were listening to.
That's funny. That's so random too, because like, from my perspective, all I ever listened to growing up was just white trash music. Because my parents loved white. For as much as they aren't white trash people, really,
Yeah.
like it's just a whole lot of Buck Cherry and
Oh, damn, I was about to guess like Stained or something. Dude.
not even necessarily Stained, except for actually. What's funny? My dad, no. My mom, yes.
Okay.
If I was riding with just my mom, it was shit like that, or Buck Cherry, or
3 Days Grace.
Yeah. 3 Days Grace was a great one. Not Bulls on Parade. Rage Against the Machine.
Hey,
she showed
watch
me
it
them.
now. That's not trash.
That's good.
Okay, I got a
Kill-
Rage Against
kill-
the Machine tattoo
Killing
quote
in
on
the
my
name.
arm. It was my
I'm not
first
saying-
tattoo when I was like 17.
I love that band, but it's metal and rap mixed together.
Oh, yeah.
That's the evidence of trash. That's my whole being.
I mean, call it what you will. I'm not going to back
it's
you up on that.
poetry, but it's
Dude,
of my people.
Before the whole like Limp Bizkit thing like came back in fashion, I would probably rewatch his Woodstock thing, you know, twice a year or something. Like, you know,
See,
all growing up, because Kid Rock was on that. Dude, one time I went to see Kid Rock, there was a moment that he would like play the guitar. He did like a solo on the guitar, and then he would take that off, and he'd go over to the bass, and he'd put that on, and he'd do like a bass solo. Then he'd take that off, and he'd go over to like the DJ, you know, booth, and he'd like scratch, and he'd like take that off. He'd go over to the drums, do a drum solo. It was like, oh my god, he like really writes
Kid
every
Rock is
note
the
of that
best.
song.
That's-
Yeah, he
that's
put on a
awesome.
hell of a show. There were like, you know, ladies dancing and cages, fire and shit. I'm like, you know, 9 years old. Like, holy shit, this is awesome.
Is that what has to get you going now? You need a go-go dancer in a fire cage?
I mean, it wouldn't hurt.
Honestly, I said that. I don't know any man that's straight that would turn that down. Blake?
Maybe.
Maybe.
No.
You're gay. I'm going to text Chris
I
Barton
used to
for
go
you.
to strip clubs to write way back when.
All
Dude,
right,
that's
Ernest
fucking
Hemingway.
awesome.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to love that. As such a Bukowski fan
Yeah.
and Hemingway fan.
I was like, man, if I can focus here, I can focus
Exactly.
anywhere, and I can like, you know. So like, I would, you know, they'd come up and ask me like, you know, what I was doing. I'd be like, you know,
I'm writing.
suicide note.
Unless you save me with a lap dance right now.
yeah.
For free.
Save me with that pussy.
Vinny got a lot of pity pussy. That's how you do
is
it.
there any other kind?
No.
I mean,
Nah, they do pity us. When it comes to the bedroom, I'm like, fine, I get it.
yeah, I used to use a Rubik's Cube to get girls' numbers, and I had probably like a 99% success rate with it. I'm not even
Really?
exaggerating.
Do you know
Yeah.
your audience? Like, are you going for your target audience with a Rubik's Cube, or you go to any girl, solve it in front of her?
I know. I have a target audience.
Okay.
It's waitresses at restaurants. Your
Oh, 'cause they've
Hooters,
never
your
seen
Twin
anything
Peaks,
smarter.
Your Ojos Locos, your Third Base, your Wild Pitches. I mean, Bone Daddies for a little bit, but then they got all religious or something. I don't know.
If you're really feeling dirty, redneck heaven.
Oh my god, yeah. I would clean up over there, I'm sure.
Oh my gosh, I've never seen anyone solve one of these darn contraptions.
You'd probably get the Hawk 2 girl.
Yes.
Isn't it
I
crazy
would
how she's a celebrity now just because she's a whore?
Yeah, she really should pivot. She'd like turn it into something.
Dude,
like-
she did an OnlyFans. She would never have to work ever again. She would do 1 year OnlyFans, and she'd be.
What did we say about Bella Thorne? She did 1.5 million
Dude, no,
in the
bad,
first week.
Bad Baby. She's made $60 million off OnlyFans.
Even if she didn't want to do that, she could do like a sex positive podcast or like start one or have her own like lube or something.
Dude, she
like
could really
hot to a lube.
If she had any sort of marketing on her team,
I know that's what I would do. I'd be like trying to get it sold in sex shops and shit.
Yeah.
Hot to a lube.
I mean, now she's even got a documentary coming out about her. Like 3 days
Oh, my
after.
God.
What the fuck's the story?
Good for her.
Like,
Good for her.
It's about some
Good for her.
a Bible Belt lady just made it I'm really hoping it's it's more on the vibe of Twitter and how Twitter made her famous, or maybe
I don't
even
know. She seems
TikTok.
like a nice girl, though.
I
Out of
think
all
that's
the,
what people
yeah.
are rooting for her.
Yeah.
So it's like, if she came off of like an asshole, people wouldn't
No.
be celebrating a documentary.
No.
yeah. It's just she's got very I can almost tell that she has at least one older brother. Like that's her whole vibe.
Dude, you know what your vibe is right now?
An asshole.
You have Kid Rock vibe with this bucket hat, actually, dude. I'm like, I just did a double take. Maybe I'm like, just the acid I took earlier or something, but like,
I'll take that. That's
you got a real early Bobby. I think Bobby was the name. He was Kid Rock. I mean,
oh yeah, his name was Bobby.
yeah, it probably still is. I don't think he legally changed it to Kid.
I don't know, man. Of all people, I would definitely assume Kid Rock to change his name to his performance name.
It's a pretty cool name.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool name, and he's definitely the type of guy that just assumes his persona, I guess.
Yeah, it's like Childish Gambino's changing his name because he's like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm this is my last hurrah, as Childish Gambino. So
Oh, is he doing another special?
Well, he just dropped an album, so he's
Oh,
on
okay.
tour. He's like touring with music. There's a Childish Gambino tour
Oh,
happening.
Jesus
right now.
Christ. I'm really fucking up this episode because I mixed him up with, what's his real name? Donald Glover?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I was
But
mixing
I think they're doing a Community movie, is what I read.
Yeah.
Really?
yeah,
Yeah,
But
I
I
read
think
that.
they're waiting on Joel McHale or something.
I need to get into that show. I know it's a show I've always needed to watch.
Oh, that's a smart show.
I watched the first season. It was a good show.
I get a lot of their clips on like TikTok, just them getting all the compilations of him being fucking. He reminds me of Nikki Butler.
Yeah, Nikki's funny.
Hey, just
Yeah, just
random
kinda-
and like Nikki doesn't wear socks. That's what I get from that kind of vibe of the show. Have never watched it, so I could be completely
Nikki
wrong.
doesn't wear socks?
Nikki does not wear socks.
Dude, that's fucking disgusting.
I know. We've tried. A whole lot of people have tried to get him to wear socks, and he loves it. He loves not wearing socks. Stick to you, buddy.
I mean, I'd be lying if I said I'm wearing a sock right now in my
But
Crocs.
You have Crocs on, like.
I have Crocs on more often than I don't, and I used to make fun of Crocs in high school. I got into Crocs very late in life.
It's an easy accessibility thing.
They're a comfortable shoe.
They're incredibly comfortable, and I just like.
See, I can never. I always got blisters from them, so I could never get to the comfortability of them.
How
But
the fuck do you get blisters wearing Crocs?
Because he always has them in sport mode, probably.
Oh, he's probably wearing the Sam's Club's one.
Yeah, you got to go to.
There's more?
Marshalls.
You have to get like the ones that actually say Crocs on them.
and they might not have. You might have just nailed that out of thin air. Good job,
That's
buddy.
true
Wow.
because the giblets won't fit in
No,
the
in the
knockoff
Sam's
ones.
Club,
Yeah,
yeah.
the holes are.
I
different
see.
size.
I was just born at the. If I was born later in life, I'd definitely be the guy that has Shaq's kid.
The hell's a Shaq?
The Walmart Shaq shoe. Shaq made this whole line of basketball shoes that only came out at Walmart.
Oh yeah, I
called
wear
Shaqs.
those.
Oh hell
Yeah.
yeah!
You do wear
Well,
those?
I wear and ones. I buy all my shoes from Walmart.
They sell in ones at Walmart.
That's where it all started.
Yeah.
And one started off at same thing with Champions. They started off as like Walmart clothes. Or not.
Oh wow!
It's just really weird. It became a huge thing, and then I think they stopped having a deal with Walmart, and that's what put it over the edge. Is you couldn't get it at Walmart anymore.
Dude, you're throwing me off with this Kid Rock look right now. Can we put like a graphic, like a side by side
Just
of
let
Kid
it
Rock
assume
in a
my
bucket
face.
hat? I mean, this is. And once I've seen it, it's hard for me to see. We've just been talking about him so much that I'm just like, I'm like
do-
kind of starstruck.
I do look like I have listened to Cowboy a time or two in my life.
Oh yeah, that's
need-
great.
We need to get a Kid Rock picture in here now.
Do we? No, we don't put it over Uma Thurman's face. That's a disgrace. We could put it next to Carlin.
Don Rickles over here.
Yeah,
This
that's the newest addition. I fucking love Rickles, man. He was so fucking funny.
Yeah, for sure.
That it
The
like
insult comedy is a real art that's like a dying art.
Yeah, it's lost art.
Yeah, because you have to be uber personable to get it off to where no one's taking it as offensively.
Yeah.
I'm not
yeah,
assuming
yeah.
that any single Asian person that caught flack from Don Rickles never got offended. I'm assuming someone did a time or two, but he was able to get away statistically where like someone who is not as personable as he was would get kicked off stage immediately.
Yeah, I think people wanted to get insulted by him.
Yeah,
for it because it was just like kind of meant that he liked you or like, you know.
Yeah, he'd almost gotten his fame from degradation. Like, people just loved that about him, and it's kind of what people are going for crowd work shows now. People that really love crowd work comics want to get picked on.
Yeah, I love that. I love going and getting picked on at comedy shows. Like, it's fucking...
We're going to let you go on this tangent because I know what you've got Harvard away, but we are also going to see a crowd work comic together in middle of September.
Yeah. Who are y'all seeing?
Big J.
It better not be the same day as my fucking improv show.
No,
it's a couple weeks later.
Oh, okay.
What's the date on your improv show again?
We're September 18th. At
September.
The Addison Improv.
Oh, actually, I think it's like 2 days before.
No, I think it's the 12th.
Okay.
Oh, it's the week
All
before.
right.
Okay. But we're going to the Thursday show.
Well, we have the same audience, so I didn't, I didn't want people to have to pick and choose.
It's such a fun thing. Like, I had to talk myself down from I've been hosting for Jacob Marshall at Fort Brewery over here in kind of downtown Fort Worth.
Yeah. Speaking of hoopers.
He's always out there, and he's also a person that takes it very seriously, but I also get that from someone who takes softball seriously. But TCU basketball guy, Jacob Marshall.
But I think Jacob makes everybody better.
Yeah, he is. He's very. Oh, God damn it! He's a ball buster in the best way possible for a coach. Like, he's coaching you up, but not. He's not sugarcoating shit. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Well, he's just very exactly, and it's like informative.
Yeah, you're like, you're not doing good. Do better. And you're like, he nailed that.
But because if you're always trying to figure out how to get better, it's nice to have somebody there who can actually like knows the X's and O's,
all of your flaws.
And he just makes the game easier for everybody. Like I notice it when games on weeks that he's not there, and it's like it's harder to create opportunities.
For as big as he is, he's a good point.
Yeah.
Can he ball?
Yeah, he can ball.
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
He's got a strap too. Like he's shooting from 3. Nice.
I would have never guessed.
Yeah,
that.
he pulls up from deep, and he's got good numbers.
And he's the type of dude that makes it and turns around before it goes in because he knows and just talking shit. Like he's the one you want on your team.
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
He tones it down though. He plays at like 70% with us. Like you could tell because I've seen him on a couple like defensive possessions where he really was just like trying to make a point.
We need to win the game. Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, he can really move his feet.
He'll throw down. Yeah, dude, he's got quick feet for as top heavy as he looks.
He's lost weight.
That, and he's very active. He does all this.
Yeah.
I'm tired of talking good about Jacob Marshall.
I know we've been talking good about him. We usually
too
don't.
much. He's a piece of no.
So you're hosting his show.
I'm hosting that show over there.
Crowd work show or something? Is that what you're about to say?
No. How was I getting to that?
We were talking about crowd work.
We were talking about crowd work. Blake, you're good at picking up in my tangents. Were you paying attention this time?
You literally just mentioned the show and that was it. I don't know. How the fuck am I supposed to
You
know?
were hosting for Jacob.
Yeah. Fuck it. Now I'll just use it as a plug. September 1st, I'm doing a free show at Fort Brewery. Free admissions, great pizza, great pasta, great lineup of comics. Please come out and show support for live comedy. And that way I don't have to plug it up at the end. But, okay, so while we're trailing off here towards the end, Blake, where are we at?
Hour 10.
Hour 10.
How long do these run usually?
Usually Blake will yell at me at about hour 20.
Okay.
Hour 20, hour 30.
Yeah.
I guess. I could keep going. It's whatever you guys
We can
want.
keep going. The cameras are doing fine right now.
Usually I have to call it early because people don't want to stay here. If you want to stay, we can keep going.
Hey, I'm having fun.
Usually during the summer, we're having to deal with the cameras overheating, but it's
nighttime now.
It's cool in here right now. So,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Usually I'll do it during the day.
We started that way definitely when it wasn't summer, and then we've had to taper off from doing that because it just gets. I don't think any of the AC vents make it over to the side of the house, so that's another reason.
Fucking hot in here.
Yeah. Like you can tell by the end of every episode, I'm starting to sweat all in here. It's all you can see is just the reflection of the fucking light off my sweat. But oh damn it! I thought I had it. I thought I brought it back from Jacob Marshall. Fort Worth basketball.
Well, if you're plugging your show, I want to plug our Cowabunga shows.
Hell yeah, go ahead, man.
Cowabunga Comedy, last Wednesdays of the month at the Fillmore in downtown Plano.
Awesome vibe. I haven't gotten to go out, but I've seen pictures, and it's a really cool vibe to go sit out there. And everyone that I ask about it, they said they fucking love doing it.
Dude, it feels like a comedy club.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Everybody's there for comedy.
Hell yeah,
We're
man.
not ambushing anybody, you know.
And
the
it's hard to
staff
come
treats us
across.
well. We love the staff.
It's hard to come across these people, but I've talked to a couple people that have just come to y'all's things as just fans, and you've got regular fans too. Like I've talked
Yeah.
about this with Niaz as well, but like y'all are retaining crowds, which is something that a lot of people around here don't do as well.
I survey the room because I host them
Mhm.
every month, and I ask them up top, like, how many people here? Round of applause if you've never been to a Cowabunga show. And that number is dwindling.
That's awesome.
So, like, and then I'll be like, round of applause if you have been to a Cowabunga show. And then those numbers are like,
Holy shit.
so it's definitely a lot of, like, people. But, dude, I mean, yesterday we probably counted maybe, like, 50 people that, like, came in and had to leave because there was no place to go. 'Cause
Oh,
it
shit.
is a free show.
Okay, so
And
my reaction was because I thought you were saying you got 50 people, which is already a shock. And
no,
in a place
no,
that's not a
there's-
comedy club, getting 50 people is usually fucking stellar.
there's-
And you had to turn down 50 people? That's amazing.
there was probably like 110 there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dude, congratulations. You're really getting the fruits of your labor because
We're-
that's,
We're always at
Incredible.
capacity, dude. It's always standing room only.
you said last Wednesday of every month?
Last Wednesday of every month.
At
and
the Fillmore Pub in
the Fillmore
Plano.
Club downtown Plano, yeah.
Dude, y'all got to go check that out and become one of his reoccurring fans. 'cause
Free
that's
show.
Another free show. That's
Different lineup every month.
hell yeah.
We just had a group from the Mothership come up last month.
Yeah, and if any super hardcore comedy fans are watching this, you had Greg Giraldo Jr. on.
Greg Giraldo
Oh,
Jr.
no
has done one.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came down from New York with Dan Gilbert, and he got on a Cowabunga
I
show.
think it was during South by Southwest because he was like just in Texas for South by.
Was it?
And
Okay.
he hit me up and was like, "Hey, I heard about this show. You think I can get on?"
It was cool. I just watched the Greg Giraldo Vice documentary, and he was on it. He was talking about his dad. He's got two other brothers.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
I
wow.
didn't know that.
Yeah, very good documentary.
I got to check that out.
Yeah. I didn't have it. What's it on?
Vice, they're doing this thing called Dark Side of Comedy. They're
Mhm.
on like the third season now. They've done Kinnison, I think Roseanne, Greg Giraldo, Norm. Norm was a great episode.
I got to check that one out.
Yeah, definitely watch it. It's on Hulu.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to check those
Yeah.
out.
As soon as I get my Fire Stick hacked again,
Yeah.
I gotta watch that one.
Kinnison's on it. It's just fucking.
Oh, yeah.
I've gotten in trouble because of
Houston.
shitting on Kinnison. I just think he's loud. I don't like.
Yeah,
this
he
guy.
is loud.
Uh,
But at the time, I mean, you got to put it in context.
Yeah.
of,
Nobody's
like-
seen that shit before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
everyone has its group, and I don't mean to say I shitted on him and I don't like him. It's not for me, is what I should say, as
But
someone who's learned a lesson.
You
but
still have to respect the joke writing. He was
Do
in
you?
his prime before he went full off the rails into a fucking rock star. His early shit, he was a good fucking joke writer.
For sure he was.
I definitely have to go back and give him another taste test because I was probably like 16, 18 the first time I went to watch it, but I did not like it.
The starving kids in Africa, that's a fucking killer joke.
Is that where that whole thing originated from? It was like, oh, if they're so starving, send them the food yourself or something?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. So, like,
You
Clip
put it
that,
in the
clip
most
that.
you put it in the most unflattering.
Yeah, just
light.
put it out of context. Just clip that part.
yeah, put that in the intro, why don't you? Like, that's kind of me going back to saying the same thing. Is like, I watched a lot of old movies through watching Family Guy spoof it. Like, I guess I've heard a lot more Kinnison jokes told badly through other people.
Oh yeah. I mean,
And that's part of it, but
'cause
also
you have to have his style. His style is what makes it like jump off the page. It's like Mitch Hedberg. Like on paper, those jokes aren't necessarily funny. Some of them,
right, but you got
a lot of them actually, if you want to break them down. But the way he delivers them and performs them is
Right.
what makes it so genius.
yeah. No, that's
And that's what you have to have, that balance of joke writing and
Performance.
personality.
Yeah.
you
it is
say-
still a performance at the end of the day.
Yeah, so sometimes you see people that have too much of one or the other, and it's, they just haven't learned how to find that balance yet.
Yeah, that's been the weird extravaganza I've been going through as the angry comic. I haven't been going up.
Well,
to-
that's good because you have emotion behind
Yeah.
it. So you're not just out there telling your jokes; you're out there performing your jokes.
Yeah, that's been a big switch. Is a lot more people. It surprises me because I get angry, and I was always scared to get angry on stage because a lot of people that I've been around don't like it when I get angry, and I completely understand. I tried to change that fact about me. I don't like who I am when I get to that level. But then you get to these rooms like Blake has seen it, and I guess a whole lot of people relate enough to it to where they're riding with me.
It's genuine. It feels very genuine.
It's pretty genuine.
You know,
If you
when you're
listen to
just
that-
up there telling jokes and you don't really have a cadence and you're just kind of, it's not that it's not funny, but it's just when you kind of become personal with it, that's when it starts to turn into art.
Yeah, people appreciate vulnerability. So
Yeah,
when
I was always shocked that people wouldn't take the vulnerability of me being aggressively well. That's the other thing is figuring out how to be angry without being aggressive.
Yeah. I mean, you're also not screaming at audience members. There's a difference.
I've said some off-colored shit at some that I need to work on. There was the last time I went to Graffiti Pasta, the host there called me a Denton open mic legend. And just when I heard it, I knew it came from a positive place. I'm like, you got to be fucking, I'm an open mic legend now? Are you fucking kidding me? And it's because I yelled at a guy that was being drunk and an asshole as well. But he was, I was upstairs drinking at the bar, just talking to the bartender. He came up out of nowhere, just started being a drunk asshole, berating the bartender. He got kicked from the restaurant to the downstairs, which is hilarious. You're like, you can't hang up out here. Go downstairs with them. I don't give a shit if you go down there. But he gets right
was this me?
No. You've done great. You've done great. Apparently, he went to Dusty's and started heckling one night because he got too drunk.
oh boy,
Yeah.
you're like, I'm just helping the show.
You probably were.
I mean, in all fairness, I was the only fucking person there for the comedy show. So
Yeah, at that point, I mean, it's you just had to engage.
Yeah.
You'd be kind
Sunday
of
nights
foolish
at
to like try
10
to work
p.m.
on
is
your
tough.
jokes unless you're trying to just.
Shady
figure out
baby.
how to
Are you
say
gonna come
'em.
in here? She's still skittish.
Yeah, but if the crowd's like, I mean, I did a show at Backdoor a couple weekends ago, and there was like literally 2 people there, and I asked them up top. I was like, "You guys want jokes, or you want me to talk to you?" And they were like, "Talk to us."
Yeah.
So I was like, "All right." And so
That's what I like thinking about it is I don't like to think that I do crowd work because crowd work, when people hear it, is just like, what do you do for work? Da-da-da-da-da. Like, my whole thing has just become, like, taking awkward questions and asking. Like, at one point it was, what's your biggest fear? I'd ask someone in the crowd that because I had a joke written about my biggest fear. It wasn't crowd work. It was just kind of getting them on my
you're
side.
leading them. Yeah, you're leading them, too. Yeah. Yeah,
But
that's not crowd work. That's just clever.
Well, now because I got comfortable with that, I've gotten to a little more crowd work-esque.
But because you know that there's opportunities for comedy within that answer,
Right.
But if the opportunity doesn't present itself, you know you have this joke in your pocket.
I've got my ripcord to where I can step in and actually start doing comedy.
Yeah,
again.
exactly.
Yeah, and it's become really fun because as much as I love doing stand-up comedy and it's amazing to make people laugh, that's a even more selfish feeling for me than anyone else, really. There's been a couple people now that have come up to me after a fucking mic of all places and said, man, that's really funny. I go through that too. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm a hothead and I've been trying to work on it, and it's funny to hear someone else going through the same struggles. I would kill any single person. If you said one of those things to me and then asked me to hitman you or hitman someone for you, I would. That's such a great feeling. I would do anything for any one person that said something nice to me like that. Like,
Dude, yeah, I mean, like one compliment like that can really sustain you for the next 2 weeks from doing like thankless open mics or thankless
Right.
shows or anything.
especially whenever we do this kind of shit, it's like you're always 1 week away from being like, fuck this, like I'm done doing it.
Yeah.
And like that one compliment could be like, oh, maybe, fuck
Dude,
it.
are you a stand-up too?
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
he just loves it, and that's
Yeah.
why we get along so well.
I'm a producer, and then I do films and shit like that.
Yeah, you were looking at that movie poster over there earlier. That's how we met. That was Blake's movie, and I was a smaller lead in that movie. And from there, we just kind of bonded really well because
Oh
he
my God.
he has good.
Whiskey Seltzer. I
timing.
knew I recognized you from somewhere.
You recognized us from the shortest movie to have the most the most F words in it possible.
How long was it?
32
30 yeah.
minutes.
Oh, really?
I
Oh,
think.
wow.
Yeah, it was cool. He went to Dallas Media Tech. That kind of you go in. Is it a 2-year college?
2
Okay. You go and get a 2-year degree in all of the production level, and it taught him a lot. He's fucking done an amazing job here. This is all him, and that's why the rest
So
of
you
my house
wrote
looks
it
like
and
shit.
directed it.
Yeah,
Huh?
I come from a writing background and doing a lot of comedy writing-esque screenplays.
Wait, Brad Rickberg?
Yeah, you know Brad?
Yeah, hell yeah. We go way
Dude,
back,
I fucking love Brad.
Dude,
Yeah, you
I
told me
mean,
Brad's a comic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, pre-pandemic, Brad was out there all the time.
Yeah,
I would see.
that's awesome.
I would see when I first started doing comedy. I would see Brad maybe 10 times a week.
That's great, dude.
It's funny. There's like a scene in the movie where they're like in an office, and I put Brad's picture behind one of the characters.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, he's got that joke about how he looks like the Mad TV guy. He looks like the Mad TV kid.
I've never heard that one before, but
Yeah.
it's so true.
That's awesome, Blake. You're gonna have to cut him a piece of that. That's fucking great, dude.
What I always liked about Brad is he was such a good writer because every holiday or season he would always have one or two jokes about it.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And I would hear him, and I like noticed it over like a couple years because he would do whenever I first started, and I was just like seating people a back door to get time, and you know working the light and shit. He would go up on the weekends sometimes, and after doing that for like a couple years, I like noticed. I was like, oh my god, he did this last fucking Valentine's Day. He did this one last
That's kind of
Arbor
cool.
Day.
I
or
think
whatever.
he told me he's an English minor. That's what he got his minor in. He got his major in film, but
Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah, I saw him. The last time I saw him was for Jan Norton's funeral.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was there like filming the whole thing, and she was the
The
co-founder of Backdoor.
right.
with
She was the
Linda
other
Stoddard.
half of Backdoor Comedy and Richardson. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So like a Dallas icon, really.
Yeah.
And-
Everyone that's got a piece of comedy in Dallas comedy has something to put for Jan. Like, she
Yeah.
put a lot of people that are working now on, and it was sad to say. I never got to meet her either. I just heard her voice over the phone.
Oh yeah. Pretty iconic voice. So sorry to bring the room down.
We've done this a couple times. We talked about we did it with Kane because Kane had a very historic thing in that he had Jay Agbon come down on a show, and then he sadly passed away up in New York. He was just down from New York for like a weekend, I think, and Kane just clicked with him. He's like, this dude is amazing. He's like an amazing person, very funny. And then just like, hey man, if you're randomly wanting to get on a show, I've got one. Hopped on, had a great time, and then like a week later, it was
Dude, yeah,
That
you know why
day.
that sucked? Because he was supposed to do one of our Cowabunga shows
Oh,
during
that
same
asshole.
stint while he was here. Yeah. But yeah, he backed out to do another show. Maybe fucking Cane's.
I thought you were about to say he backed out for something better. As in,
Oh, ouch. Ouch. Kane, you going to take that, dude? Uh-oh. Someone's throwing the first punch.
I was saying, I thought you were saying he backed out for death. That I thought you went even darker.
No. Saying that he backed out to do this show.
I have no. When was it?
I don't
Friday,
know.
December 22nd.
I mean, if somebody was like, hey, I could do a bar show that I know nothing about or a Dallas Comedy Club show, like I would be like, yeah, I would do that one too.
You got to do them both. You got to get the realm of both worlds.
I mean, I don't think he knew what our show was. You know?
Do you know a whole lot of shows you're on though going into it? Because I've been at a couple places. As soon as I get there, I'm like, oh, the whole vibe of my set has to change.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, definitely. Like whenever you're like first starting, you're getting a lot more of those shows for sure. Like
Yeah.
in the first couple of years.
As funny as it is, I wouldn't give it up, but I'm very glad that it's over. But I got a lot of my first couple shows from variety rap and comedy shows. But it would be like 18 rappers and 4 comics, and we would be very last.
Oh wow,
We're like, oh
dude.
man.
Whenever I first started, there was a show going out towards maybe out here. It was like an all black strip club called Stilettos. And they would do dancer, comic. So like there would be a dancer, everybody would just crowd to the stage, and then like a comic would go on, and everybody would just disperse, and then
A
like
comic was never more hated than that night. You're like,
Yeah.
"God, fucking just bring the girls back out, man."
yeah, that's so. Hey, you got to do those shows. You got to pay your dues. You got to
Yeah,
work as many rooms as possible.
Yeah, I'm glad that I got my weird ones at least out. Some of them out of the way now. I'm definitely gonna have some weird ones in the future. Well,
sure.
hopefully, not definitely.
For sure, dude.
Please book
I'm
me.
headlining a bowling alley / movie theater.
Film. Film Alley.
Film Alley, yeah.
I love
Terrell,
those.
Texas.
I love people that just use what they have, but also it's so fucking funny. Like,
yeah,
just
but
that
it's going to
someone-
give me a chance to work out the hour before the improv one, so I'm like,
do you
yeah, for
like,
sure.
are they gonna not let people bowl while you're doing stand up? Is it in a different room? Do you know anything?
So they used to be in a room. So I've hosted, featured, and now I'm headlining it. And
Hey,
so the
paid your
first time I did it, it was like in a different room, and the bowling was still happening. So you had potential of getting like heckled by like a 7-10 spare or something. It was out of this world.
Nachos.
Yeah, but then the second time I did it, it was in the bowling alley. So that like they were like, all right, we're turning all the bowling alleys. So they had a little stage set. So now the bowling alley isn't like the backdrop basically.
That's actually kind of sick.
It's kind of cool. Yeah, everybody's like sitting like on the like when you go bowling, the little love seats that you sit at, and the little everybody's sitting on those.
Do you get good crowds there?
I mean, yeah, because there's not really any comedy there. So if
Yeah,
you like
in
comedy,
Terrell,
and
it's
they
just-
it only seats like 50 or something. So
Yeah. Cody Swindell was talking about that on his solo episode. He was just going out to do it, and he loves it out there.
Well, it's like whenever you guys go out to Tyler to do Rose City, you all
Oh,
seem to
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
love that place.
Yeah, Tyler is really fucking because it's the same thing. They've got nothing, so everyone just goes there, and it's a good mix of crowds in that there's old people, and then there's a whole lot of students that go to TCC or
Yeah, Tyler Community College.
yeah, TCC. And so you get a good mix, and now that they've renovated a couple times to where it was in one room, and then it got into a little bit bigger room, and now it's in the biggest room they have, and they pack it out. From what I see, like they sell it out almost every time.
dude, whenever I first started going there, it was called Rando's Cell Phone Repair Shop.
I heard the tale about random
And
stuff.
it was in the room that now is the concession stand room, that long hallway.
Yeah.
And it was just in that. And so, like, the room where the stage is now was like the green room. So, like, all the comics would be back there.
Damn.
And you would go in through that little long, narrow hallway, but it was always packed out. It was always well run. And then finally, they, the guy sold it to the guy who has it now.
Mhm.
And
Shout out Christopher Blakeman.
yeah, and he's since like transformed it. I mean, it's you can tell they really care about comedy there, and they care about the audience's experience too.
Yeah, and I don't know.
They're
If,
always making upgrades. Last time I was there, I was working out the hour there in May. I was like, it had been 6 months since I was there last. They had completely new seats,
Mhm.
way more comfortable seats, more seats. Like
yeah,
they,
now
they,
it seats like
they,
60.
yeah, they like took some stuff out in the back to add more seats. I mean, they
And
really care. They really
They've
care.
they've got a really cool idea for a legacy for the comedy there. In that, if you sell out a show, you sign the stage you stand on, and then every time one of those stages fills up, they're gonna put that on the wall, and then just build a new like pallet stage. And they're just gonna keep doing that, and it's gonna look
Wow.
like it's gonna be their version of everyone signing the wall at the store.
That's a really heartbreaking way to find out that I did not sell out that night. I did not know that was an option.
The only
They
reason
never
I did
told
is
me
'cause of
that.
other people. I got lucky. I was on. Was it with Tyler? Oh, you're getting the cat. I thought you were trying to tell me we had 4 more minutes or something. Oh, this is the skittish one. Is she coming to play? I just adopted her, and I spent like a whole 10 days just momming it. I was in there forcing
I
skin
get
on
it,
skin
dude.
contact.
Dude,
and-
in our apartment, we built like a cat wall.
Oh,
like,
really?
around the thing. Dude, I'll put a clip up and I'm like, okay, this joke, this is the one. This is the joke that's going to do it. It's going to put me over the edge with this joke. It gets nothing. I put up like a little video of like my cat going up the wall. Holy shit, it gets like 20,000
Yeah.
hits like on the very first day. I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
Yeah, I started trying to cheat the system and put cats of TikTok in on every TikTok video I post, whether it's about cats or not. Really, it's only been the one clip where Zeus knocked down one of these cameras, and they have figured out that none of these videos are about cats. They just don't get the
yeah.
views anymore.
Yeah, the algorithm is...
Oh, it's a motherfucker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've been really fighting with the algorithm. We've changed this episode's formulaity so many times.
It goes
Yeah,
goes up and
But
down.
do you see? Because you do, I think, more like open mics than me, right? So
Yeah.
do you see like people on like just trying to make content now, like more than jokes, more than material?
Honestly, I do see it, but it's not from the open micers as much. It's from the people that are in between going to open mics as much and still aren't working regularly.
Yeah.
Like even a step below you, someone who doesn't have an hour. Right now, That's all he does is he just makes content now because he's not getting booked anywhere.
Yeah. For those who want to know, he said Andy Franklin. That's
Fuck you, Andy. I love Andy.
yeah, we love Andy.
Has he come to you yet with his girl problems of recent?
At Backdoor, he was telling about it. We don't have to get into it.
I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, we'll save that for his episode.
I wanted to think I was special, but apparently he tells every single person.
Well, he's got to get it out.
He does. He doesn't go to therapy. He just goes to comedy, which is, oh God. Do you ever miss that from going to open mics more frequently? Just watching the real lunatics just unwind on stage.
Yeah, I mean there's a lot of people that definitely need therapy. That you
almost wish they'd stop doing open mics, but if you know they did, someone would get hurt.
Oh yeah, and you've seen that story so many times. I mean, I can count on two hands the amount of comics I know that have just should have had the therapy and just decided to say goodbye, cruel world.
Yeah, I'm still lucky enough to co-host with Jamie Jakes at Outfit, so I still get my spoon feeding of crazy every once in a while. And
Oh yeah, well I mean, good. I think it's good. Crazy's.
I love crazy.
You
I
gotta
mean,
embrace it,
especially as comics, some of your best friends are crazy people.
Yeah, I mean that means you're alive.
Oh yeah.
You know.
It's I was trying to make this into a joke, and I don't think it's anything, but like you have nighttime friends and daytime friends, and if your nighttime friends call you in the daytime, something's wrong.
Yeah.
I had a comic call me at 8:30 in the morning. I'm like, this cannot be good. It turns out he was just checking up on me, and he's a sweet man for doing it. Shout out Big A. But he's like, he called me at 8:30 in the morning. I'm like, is this a late night and I'm posting bail for someone? This is what's going on here.
That's funny. Yeah. Yeah, nighttime friends and daytime friends. You're right on the money with that. But this is like comedy. It's like one of those. It's the closest thing I can imagine being in a frat was like, because nobody knows kind of what you go through other than other comedians.
Yeah, I was never in frats, but I was quote unquote informal, which just means I brought beer to other people's frat parties and they let me hang out.
Mm-hmm.
And without getting all douchey and just bro down, it is very fraternity-like. Everyone's got a sense of camaraderie where everyone right there is kind of something. Well, and I mean, to say that, like, I joined comedy because when I moved back from college, I needed something. Like, when I moved back, all my friends, because I'm 15 minutes from my hometown. I grew up in Roanoke, and all my friends had moved out, basically. My best friend moved to L.A. The other one's living with his wife in Alvarado or something like that. So I needed a clique to join, and that was comedy at the time because I was such a comedy addict growing up, watched all the specials. And then I get there, and especially once you find out that 90% of comics aren't going to be rude to you right off the bat, and you're like, wow, these people are easily going to probably be some of my best friends for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to find a group that you can like be unapologetically yourself with.
Yeah,
and they embrace it and they want to see you like lean in and be yourself more,
Right, and it's so funny because once again, I think of everything that I do for this, it's very selfish in that I like having these friends. I like doing comedy because all of my best friends right now are some of the funniest people in Dallas. Like, I just get to hang out with funny people constantly. And then until I go to my day job and I have to deal with realtors and real estate agents that just make me want to die.
Well, that's why I love doing this podcast, because I laugh my fucking ass off. Like,
Yeah,
I
dude.
meet the funniest people in Dallas.
And that was the whole point of this. I wanted this to feel like we're all sitting in a booth at the back of a comedy club or something, just talking shit.
Mm-hmm.
And in reality, I started this because I didn't have any friends a couple months into comedy. I was like, people might want to come hang out if I start a podcast. And now people are coming to hang out.
Lo and behold,
Yeah, it's a Thursday
If you
night. I've got
build
a friend
it,
over. Yeah,
they will come.
exactly. The Field of Dreamers are back, baby.
Yeah. It's all full circle.
So you've got your hour coming up. You've got your Cowabunga shows the last Wednesdays of every month. Do you have anything else to plug? Like, what's your Instagram handle so people can come and find you?
We're at Vinnie and the Jokes, VINNIE, and the Jokes.
Have we talked about where we met for the first time?
Was it not at basketball?
No. Well, okay, met's the wrong word, but the first time I met you. You were hosting the first time I got out at Plano House of Comedy, and it was the first time. Not to sound shitty, but it was I hadn't seen your name pop up a whole lot. Like when you get the you might know this person. So I remember I think I was with Jacob Marshall of all people, and I turned to him and I'm like, is he an out of towner? Like I hadn't met you because I hadn't been coming to that side of the comedy scene as much because Fort Worth was still going.
Sure.
And you fucking murdered at Plano House of Comedy on such a fucking dry night that night was. But it was fun too because like that was kind of going back to this holistic experience that you have with comedy. If anyone's wanting to join that watches this, yeah, everyone was so nice there. Tyler Elliott saw that I was kind of distraught after not getting a bucket pull. And I the whole time I thought there were 4 bucket pulls. Turns out there were 5. And after the 4th one was called, I fucking dropped my head because I was tired of hanging out the whole time. And he goes, just wait here. And Tyler walks up to someone, I'm guessing, and just puts me on because I just so happened to be the next name. And I was like, as much as people can hate that, someone's going to do that for you at some point.
Oh,
in this
yeah,
comedy
yeah.
scene. And like, it's such a, we were talking about earlier, that it's such a nice moment to get to have that experience. Like, a lot of people that are coming to the situation need it, myself included back then. I was in a dark place when I came here. I mean, fucking, I was ripping carpet out of this house just screaming at everyone every day. But, like, it's been really cool to be, I guess, assumed into the community without, the whole community telling me whether that's true or not. But it's cool that I know someone from Plano that we have no idea of each other than just this one thing that we happen to do a lot. And now we're eventually getting paid for it. It's becoming our hobbies and what we enjoy to do. And I like, there's no other connection that I found through this. Like, sports is completely different because at the same time as it's a team sport comedy, it's also so individual. You got to do well together as a team for like a show list, but then you go up there and you're doing it all for yourself for the rest of the show.
Yeah, for sure. That's what because before I did stand up, I was doing improv. I did improv
Oh, really?
for I did improv only for a year, and then I did improv and stand up together, and then eventually I just dropped improv. And
Were you doing it out of like the funnels here, or were you just doing? Where were you doing?
Yeah,
improv?
at the old DCH, which
Oh.
was before DCC. There was DCH, and the pandemic came and shut DCH down.
Wasn't
That was the
what,
third location of DCH, and then there was 2 before that. So
Oh,
I
damn.
started at the first one.
Was the first DCH? Wasn't that like what used to be Terry Black, or what is now Terry
That was
Black's?
the second one.
Okay.
So the first one was on Commerce, so one street south of that. And
Right.
It was just a single like black box theater.
Huh.
And so I started doing improv, but it was nice because it's like when shows went bad, you had people to commiserate with.
Oh,
you could,
yeah.
like share it. And whereas stand up, if it goes bad, it's just all on you. It's just like, but also that's the good thing about it too is when it goes good, you're like that's all you.
Right. And
You know?
just that level of, because we're in comedy, we're kind of always a little bit forcing ourselves to laugh at things, which is something that I've definitely benefited from. But like just walking out of a show where everyone does bad, more so on a stand-up lineup.
Now, what do you consider bad? What do you consider bombing to you? What is bad?
When it feels like I keep having to re-earn them, I don't like that feeling. That's a bad enough feeling for me to where I didn't do well.
Okay.
Like, I've had a couple jokes that I've either reworked entirely or just gotten rid of where I've kind of come back with the punchline, but it wasn't enough to circumvent what the setup did to it.
Yeah.
Like, I would just... I was way too dark. Just at the beginning, I was talking about one of them is stepping on the heads of rats, which that doesn't come off to anyone very well.
That's metal as fuck, dude.
But like, I would write an ending to it where people are like, okay, all right.
Yeah, no, that's the
Don't-
Kid
don't-
Rock I know, dude.
don't-
Hell yeah.
Don't shoot us.
Yeah, it was very like, is this what you... Every clap was like, is this what you need to get through today?
Yeah. Now, I see bombing as... it's not like if nobody's laughing or anything, but bombing is like whenever I can see the comic on stage decommitting.
Oh, yeah.
When it's like kind of affecting them, then it's bombing. But if you're going up there and still delivering it as if it was 300 people who are like laughing their ass off,
Right.
I don't consider that a bomb. And I don't even think of like mics or shows as being like good or bad anymore. I'm like, was it productive or was it unproductive?
Yeah, that's a much healthier way of looking at it. I'm at it's a very Cody Swindell way to look at things, but I tell myself every night, like, hey, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Whether it goes bad and I'm trying to tell myself, hey, it gets better, or if it goes good, which is where I need to stop doing it. Like, hey, if it goes good, it could get worse again. Like, you've been in a swell where it got good and then it got bad for a long time. So just, like, remember, this is a marathon.
Yeah.
And I probably need to sugarcoat that a little bit better to myself. But
yeah. But you also should, like, take note of, like, achievements you have. Because it's so hard to, like, actually find, like, tangible things that you can point to and being like, oh, I'm making progress. Oh, this is all worth it. Like, this is, like... So when something like that happens, you really got to, like, enjoy it.
Right.
And
So I don't know if this is the same way for you, but the closest thing I have to that, I think, is when other comics say my punchline at me. That's become a really nice golden feeling I have. Like, I've got one joke where I interact with a homeless guy in L.A., and he says, come on, nephew, we'll do it together. And I've had a couple comics after that come up and say that at me. I'm like, oh, you actually listen to my stuff?
yeah.
Because there's a lot of people, I'll actively try and listen to their stuff, and then because we're such good friends, I know not to go listen to their stuff because they're still working on something. And I'm a decent friend. I'm not a great friend. I could go listen to them and stand to do that a little more. But like if I'm getting my friends who listen to me talk outside where I'm just free, go to a stage and they're coming in to listen to me, that's a good feeling I have. Because I also hate all of my jokes, whether or not people think they're good or not.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember there was a comic whenever I first started who also had a similar thing. Like, every comic, they would, like, go in and see what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, oh, man, I wonder what he's going to say tonight. And it's
Was it from a this guy's crazy perspective and I want to hear it, or is it like this guy is a prophet and we want to hear it?
He was just had a good balance of personality and joke writing.
Yeah.
He just had a great.
See, to kind of put it in relation, right now I really enjoy watching Taylor Weddington. She goes by Taylor P now, but
Oh yeah,
watching her on
she
stage.
did our Cowabunga show.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, we used to have another location out in Garland.
Oh
in
yeah,
downtown Garland,
Niaz was telling me about that.
Intrinsic. And she did that one. She did well. Yeah.
It's been fun watching her too because it's really. I like when I watch someone who's been in the game not as long as I have, and I don't, because obviously I'm a comic. I'm gonna feel, I guess, more envious rather than jealous when people get things that I haven't gotten yet.
No, you should. You should be rooting for
The scene to
everybody
do
in
well.
your team, even if they get it before you. You should be
Right.
rooting for them.
Yeah, and that's something I definitely.
And it's the thing
taken
too
to
is like
therapy.
if you're good to the scene will be good to you. It's one
yeah.
of those things.
I've definitely noticed that. As soon as I kind of was just happy for people, like once I found my clique and I was able to be happy for people despite where I was at, that was who I knew to hang out with.
Yeah.
Like Kane's another person. When Kane tells me he's got another show or his show just went well, I'm genuinely happy for that guy because I see the work that he puts in.
Right.
Granted, there are still people out there, and this is the thing I need to work on, that I see don't put in that work and aren't getting, whether it's me or someone that I know works hard and still isn't getting what they deserve.
Yeah,
Like,
I get that, but
it's just time. Like, timing is everything in
You just got to
comedy.
keep chopping away at the tree ultimately, because the trick is to just keep chopping. Because if you stop chopping, it's never gonna fall over.
Right. Yeah.
So
Wow.
you
Damn.
just have to.
Have you
keep
wrote a
chopping.
book of isms? That's a good one. That's a. You could make a little whole side hustle being a motivational speaker.
Oh my God! I used to hustle people with my Rubik's cube, dude. That was my side hustle, dude. In like 2016, I would like hustle, Trump votes at the Hilton Hotel. Was where the old back door was. Hey, once I made like $300.
Really? Hustling
Yeah.
people with a Rubik's Cube?
Mhm.
Holy shit.
That's
yeah.
fucking hilarious. Like you hear people in the not Rubik's Cube game because you market that. That's all you. But
Oh yeah, always
it-
got one on me. Got to keep that thing on me.
it's funny to see there are a couple comics who are pool sharks. Like
Oh yeah,
Matt McElhone,
Marina.
Marina Riyadh
Marina
is a. I'm gonna leave that be in case she still wants to hustle people.
Ah.
Danny McGow's really good.
Oh wow.
I just watch these people play pool, and I was like, man, you really do just come to do both. Like some of these people, sometimes pool is just as much for them as comedy is. Like
Yeah.
Danny tells me that all the time. Like I just go where the places have pool. Like he ends so many Mondays at 1851 because they have pool tables.
Oh wow.
I
That's a
love
lifestyle.
1851.
Yeah, that's a
but,
lifestyle.
1851 definitely is a lifestyle. Oh man, I love them. They're so fun. Have you ever gone to do that, Mike?
No.
It's so different because there's technically no stage. There's like it's on the same level as everyone else, but it's like a catwalk, and there's like a front seat bar, kind of how DCC's first stage was, in that the front row had a bar right there, and they were kind of sitting right on the stage. That's how
Mhm.
they are at 1851, except for it's on a catwalk, so you have half of a round.
Have you been to DCC since they redid the stage?
Yeah, I love it.
I know it's so much
More
conducive for stand up.
it is, and I thought I was gonna hate it because I saw the leveling to it, like the terracing, kind of working it up, and
yeah.
you always hear you never want anyone in the crowd to be higher than the comic unless it's a theater, and then they did that, and I was like, and we'll see how that works, but it fucking pops. That place has been murdering. Have you been to the?
I've never been to DCC before.
Oh, dude,
I
you gotta.
I hate driving to Dallas.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
keep forgetting you're in fucking ass crack of fucking nowhere.
Denton?
Technically, it's like Corinth. Am I right?
No, I live right in Denton.
Oh, I'm a bad.
I live
friend.
right
Damn it.
next to the mall.
Denton's a hot spot, dude. St. Vincent.
I love Denton.
Hey, you gotta
Nora
start picking up
Jones.
some artsy chicks.
I do. I was talking to one before I threw up at the bar the other day.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So I'm an open mic legend in Denton, and apparently Drunk Blake is a legend. He walks around throwing up in empty beer glasses and making an ass of himself.
Alcohol hero.
Yeah, dude, you are a true hometown hero. The one kid that comes home and wrecks the sports bar.
Dude,
in
I can
town.
fucking drink. Like,
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I wouldn't have. You're wearing a Bowie T-shirt, and that would have made me think otherwise. But I thought you could take some.
He's a star man.
Wow.
that was good. That was very good.
Fellas.
Ziggy Stardust over here. That's fucking incredible.
You guys have go-to karaoke songs?
No, I've tried karaoke one time, and that was even more fear-striking than comedy.
Rick Astley.
Oh, Never Gonna Give You Up.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's a nice
How
one.
about
an easy
this?
one.
Gun to your head, and somebody's like, you have to get every syllable of the song right, or I pull the fucking trigger. What
Oh.
song are you gonna do? And I'm not saying Happy Birthday. or
Yeah, no
something.
ABCs.
Probably I Love College by Asher Roth.
Oh wow! Oh my God! Did
Yeah.
not see that coming.
I can
Yeah.
sing
a
every
good
fucking
call.
word of that song.
Good call.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
I
that's a good
think
one.
mine would actually have to go back to being Crazy Bitch. I
Buck Cherry.
yeah, dude.
Lay
There
me
was
down.
my mom played that song on repeat for so much that we had a rule in that I could sing along, but I had to hum out the word bitch. So I'd just be riding along with my mom
Oh,
going
that's
crazy,
funny.
crazy, and she said it was her favorite part because she made just a little fucking
Dude,
terror.
when I was like 7 years old, the thing I asked my mom for my birthday was like, because I was a huge WWF fan, wrestling. I love The Rock. Every childhood picture you see in my house, I'm like doing the people's eyebrows. in. It's like all my like ski yearbook photos. So it's like, I was like, Mom, all I want for my birthday is I want to be able to like deliver like a like a monologue, basically, like The Rock, and cuss in front of you, and it be okay with you. And she was like,
Hell
that's
yeah.
all you want for your birthday? And so I'm there. And I was like, yeah, that's all I want. I'm like, you scumbag son of a bitch, Rudy Toot candy ass. I mean, I was like, I was unleashed.
You didn't think you were gonna get it, so you didn't like prepare it.
yeah. Yeah.
I had the same thing because I'm the stereotypical white kid who would curse around his parents. Like I am that kid because my parents didn't give a shit. Like their whole adage was either you don't understand it and you don't understand it, or you understand it and you already understand it. So like they were just about having a filter and knowing when I can and can't curse. And my mom said I sounded stupid when she'd catch me cursing, saying stuff like shit butt and stuff like that. And she's like, you're going to cuss correctly at least because you sound like a fucking idiot right
you
now.
fucking scrotum chin.
He's a Balchinian.
Is that Men in Black?
Yep.
Okay.
I needed one.
The fucking Navy taught me how to cuss. I heard it all in the fucking Navy.
In the Navy.
Well, it is cuss like a sailor.
It is. Yeah, for a fucking reason.
Yeah, because they're all getting fucked in the butt.
Yeah.
That's when you curse, man. Blake, did you ever have a
Seaman.
No, they say that's the sub guys, because sub guys, they're locked on a sub, 50 dudes for fucking 6 months at a time.
50 guys?
Sometimes
they do
100.
some gay shit.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
I would have thought like 7
No.
on a submarine.
No, are you kidding me?
No.
I would have
That's a
figured
whole operation down there.
Yeah, but like I would have figured
It's
it's a whole
gotta be
operation
able
you
to
run from
shoot
like
Yeah,
off
they're
of
not
it.
going to look at the Titanic. They're
Dude,
like doing
it's gotta,
missions and shit.
they got to be able to fire off a nuclear missile if they need to.
Yeah, there's one guy named Jim. There's a button. You put it in the tube beforehand.
That's how that works. Like, it's just one button and it fucking...
Damn, did
Planes
you go
have
into submarines?
autopilot.
No.
Okay.
He did, apparently.
Just on the Titan. I'm the one that lived to say.
The Titanic one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like it was so weird that not only was capable to happen, there was just a thing where people rich enough to go down to the Titanic could. That became a lucrative thing you could do, like a carnival ride. And that how it blew over when all those people just got fucking crushed in half a second after like a week.
The crazy thing was they were using a fucking PlayStation 2 controller to
That was
control
fucking
it.
wild. Like one of those controllers that hangs down in McDonald's.
Yeah.
My wife was like, I wonder what the last thing that went through their head was. And I was like, probably water.
I was going to say the steel wall of the submarine. No, but one cop in Tennessee fucks all of her coworkers, and then no one talks about a submarine crushing people anymore. There was a lot of weird things that happened over the past year and a half.
Oh, we're in
yeah.
peak madness right now.
Oh, for sure. Still, nobody's got the shirt, though. I'm a little disappointed.
I don't get it.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to tell us what it means or just let us sit here.
Maybe the back of the shirt. Maybe you might recognize the back of the shirt.
Oh, Demolition Ranch. Yeah.
It's from the Thomas Crooks collection.
I don't even know who it
It's
is.
the guy that tried to shoot the president. I bought this shirt a day after that happened. I was like, I'm wearing this for a lot.
Oh, I'm so glad you told me. I would have never put that together. That is so great.
Yeah, one guy noticed it last night. I gave him a shout out on stage.
I love jokes that are like that, where they're just, you don't know if they'll play out at all even, but you just know in the back of your head someone will get it eventually.
Yeah, I'm in it for the slow burn, dude, the long haul.
It's a joke I've been working on recently, where when I'm feeling really overwhelmed and angry, how I calm myself down is go and pre-perforate tear all the toilet paper squares, just like halfway down, knowing that someone along the lines is going to fucking have to tear each individual square. And that's just, I love jokes that don't have any sort of timetable. They just play out when they play out.
For sure. Yeah. Just a good old fashioned practical joke.
Yeah. There was one that had happened.
That's not what this is. I think this is just a cool shirt.
It is a
sick
cool,
shirt.
very cool shirt.
I'm down. I would wear that.
I did check out the guy's YouTube channel. And
Did he have
he
anything to
does
say?
like a lot of he'll have like World War II gun gloves that they use. So he just demonstrates. He's like, bah, he'll like shoot a little mannequin with like a Joe Biden face on it or something,
Wait, so this guy was posting all this stuff on on YouTube, and no one saw this coming?
No, that's the guy who's this is like a separate channel. This is a channel of like a gun enthusiast. The guy that shot at Trump was a big fan of this guy and was wearing this shirt.
Gotcha. Okay. Now I'm piecing it all. I do my best to stay out of politics because I am the worst about spreading false information because I am too stupid. Like, I don't pick up anything except for tidbits.
You see that new picture that they had where they had the angle of like Trump's back, and then you can actually see the guy like lining up the shot on the roof, like right off to this. Like, they got it all in one fucking shot.
Really?
Yeah.
Lining up the sniper to take out Crooks.
No, Crooks lining up the shot to fucking shoot Trump in the ear.
I haven't seen that photo. I bet that looks sick though.
See, yeah, go ahead and pull that up, Blake, because this is going to be my knowledge of it. I've stayed out of this almost entirely. Apparently, this guy was also a huge Trump supporter at some point.
I mean, he's a registered Republican.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, now he's dead, so it can't come out into shooter. Like I wouldn't put shoot because then it just pulls up with camera
Yeah.
shoot.
Also, you're definitely on a list somewhere.
We're already on a list. Damn, where is it?
So right now, I'm guessing you're looking for a back view.
Yeah.
He's looking for a photo from, I guess, the crowd's perspective, where you could see.
Yeah, the people on Spotify are loving this right now.
I know. Every once in a while, I forget that I have to build context.
We are at an hour 56, so I mean.
Right.
Somebody's got a bedtime.
Oh,
Blake's a sweetie boy.
all right. Never mind, man.
Okay. Well, I'm sure the photo was great. I'm sure it was tremendous. The best photo.
I saw the picture. I said, "Wow, it's a great picture."
That's pretty good.
I've had to learn because do you know Kyle Lammert at all?
Mm-mm.
A very funny younger guy, and he's got a really good impression of it. We Jamie had everyone do kind of a bit character at the last or the outfit before last. And Kyle played Trump. We had Jacob Cancer playing RFK Jr. He did a great job with his alien voice of RFK. I should have invited you to that, Mike. You would have loved it.
Yeah, probably would have.
Jamie was also... Oh, Jamie was the Hulkster. Jamie played Hulk Hogan since he had just endorsed Trump after all that shit went down.
Hell yeah.
I don't think I'm going to find it.
I would have been The Rock. I would have been there fucking lines up.
Just the people eyebrow out of nowhere.
Yeah, just people's eyebrow the whole time.
Do you acknowledge your tribal chief? Well, that's Roman Reigns, but...
It's past my time. I was in the Attitude Era, baby.
See, I was never anyone that watched wrestling because we didn't have the channels to watch it back then. But now, more than ever, I'm watching more wrestling than I ever have.
Oh, really?
We watched
present day wrestling or like
Yeah.
wrestling of yesteryear? Like you going back and watching Undertaker versus Mankind, Hell in a Cell?
I will go back and watch the clips that everyone kind of knows, like when Undertaker jumped off the top of the cage.
Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I only listened to like half of what you said because I was trying to think. I'm a terrible host. But no, like I watched the new WrestleMania, first WrestleMania I ever watched, or the most recent one, I should say. It was awesome. As soon as you're old enough to like get past it is fake and it's just a performance like anything else.
Yeah,
It was pretty
kayfabe.
fucking sick.
Kayfabe, man, that's politics, basically. That's the beauty of Trump, really.
I gave up.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, missed the shot, much like Thomas Crooks.
Did you hear about Tenacious D and them breaking up?
Dude, you know, I went backstage to Tenacious D concert
Really? When was this?
last September.
That's fucking sick, dude.
So I was on a podcast. I was on the Office Hours Live podcast, Tim
Yeah.
Heidecker, and Tenacious D was the guest. Jack Black and Kyle Gass were there. And I was like, dude, I loved School of Rock. It was like part of the reason why I wanted to become started teaching preschool. I use how you handle a class, and I had snuck in, shoehorned a couple jokes in there, and made him laugh. And he was like, "Dude, what's your name?" And I was like, "Vinnie Corrales." He was like, "Vinnie Corrales. Next time we come to Plano, Texas, backstage passes." And I was like, "Oh my god, dude!" And then Tim Heidecker was like, "Yeah, well, when's the next time you think you're going to Plano, Texas?" And he was like, "Not on the schedule, but so." But then a few months later, I saw that they were going to be at Grapevine at the theater that they have there.
Right.
So I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to reach out to the producer of the podcast,
Just on the
'cause
off
he's there.
chance.
Yeah, and because he did, it's on video. I mean, you can look up the episode where
Right.
he says, I put it on my IG, the whole thing, and it's I was like, dude, I don't know if he was serious about this, but he did say next time he was in the area, he could give us backstage passes. Is there anything you could do? He's like, let me send this over to his manager. So she gets it, and he just sends me a message back being like, I think you're good to go. And so we drive over. Me and my wife, we go over there, and
That's
it's
so fucking
cool. I don't know if it's legit. I don't know if it's gonna work.
Right.
So we walk up the steps and we get to the window, and I'm like, this is gonna sound crazy, but Jack Black said that he'd saved backstage passes for me, and the guy was like, really? And people around heard, and they were like,
Get a
what?
load of this
What
fucking
the
guy.
fuck is it? And he was like, all right, well, let me see your ID. So I showed him my ID. He went back. He looked at it. He looked at me. I put him right there, and it said, backstage passes to from JB. I was like, oh my God, it works. So me and my wife, we sat down. Dude, it was very much still a metal show. Like they
That's so
were
awesome.
they were moshing, there was crowd surfing, there was stage diving. It was an awesome show. And then afterwards we got to go back and hang out with them.
Right.
And just kick it with them for, probably like 20 minutes.
That's so fucking
And he
sick.
remembered me from the podcast.
he remembered you?
Yeah. Well, at first he didn't. At first he was like, how did you sneak back here? And I was like, hey, we were on Tim Heidecker's podcast, way back when. I made you laugh. I don't know if you remember. He was like, I remember you, dude. Couldn't have been a nicer guy. They were both so nice. We came in, we were doing the Wayne's World, we're not worthy thing too. Got some stuff signed for Niaz because he's a big Tenacious D fan. So him
That's
and
so
Dave
fucking
Hill
sick.
opened up for him. Dave Hill actually wanted to come do a Cowabunga show.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
so
fucking
his
awesome.
opener, who shreds a guitar, dude. But he's you blends comedy and music very well.
Wow.
But he wanted to come do a Cowabunga show, and
That's-
I think he still might.
That's fucking sick, dude.
Yeah, but it was very cool getting to go backstage with Tenacious. Probably the concert of the year for me that year.
Well, I mean,
bet,
just
dude.
that whole story is fucking awesome.
I know. We
Yeah.
got the nice photo with him, and he gave us beers that he didn't want, and we were sneaking beers out in the parking lot.
That's great.
Holy fuck, Jack!
Do you still have
we
those,
still
like,
have the
backstage
cans.
passes?
Oh yeah, right there on the
Dude.
bookshelf, dude.
That's amazing. It's a commodity because they're, as of right now, done.
Yeah,
I feel like there might be a regrouping at some point once all
I
the heat
guess,
dies
but they're
down.
both, they're both kind of getting up there.
Yeah, it is pretty late to be restarting.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's so cool too, because you got to go see Jack Black, some guy who's just known for being a funny guy, who's also a murderer on guitar and can sing
Yeah.
really good. But not only that, is he's just really good friends with Dave Grohl, one of the greatest drummers and
He
musicians
did all the
of
drumming
time.
for those studio albums for Tenacious D.
And he was the devil. I don't know if a whole lot of people know
Yeah.
that, but
No,
Dave
I didn't
Grohl
know
was the
that.
devil in
Yeah.
the Pick of Destiny. And Paul F. Tompkins and the devil, and Dave Grohl were the devil. But going back to my cousin earlier that played the drums, that's how he and I bonded, because we were both kind of the social pariahs of our family. Everyone else just kind of clicked naturally, but we'd go upstairs and watch the Pick of Destiny.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed me that when he was 10. I'm like, you know this and I don't? Are you fucking kidding me? He's like, yeah, Dad showed me this, and my uncle's just rad.
I
But-
mean, it's a good one. It's it's a bummer that those guys disbanded.
I know, for such a
A stupid reason too. It
it was just
was a fucking joke. Come on.
it wasn't even. Everyone said it was a bad joke. It wasn't even that bad. I've heard way worse jokes.
Yeah, but still, it's how it's just these conservative snowflakes who just they crumble.
It's funny
Yeah.
because they just swapped again.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no pleasing anyone at this point.
It's now the conservatives are snowflakes and the liberals are the ones that are funding wars and shit. and mass
Yeah.
genocide.
Well,
makes
give
no-
it time. The conservatives will be doing it soon enough.
Yeah.
so.
Right.
The balance will go back.
Yeah. At this point, I'm just not gonna get too dead set on politics until it becomes like an apocalypse again,
Oh,
or not again, but
It's getting close.
yeah. As soon as zombies run the world and politicians don't, I'm in.
He's trying to, keep his foot in both corners here, just in
Yes.
case this podcast takes off.
Yeah.
Somebody comes
Oh.
back and tries to see what his views on Palestine were.
Good luck. I'm such a two-faced bitch. I probably said both sides at this point on different podcasts.
Oh, you probably don't even know what the fuck is going on over there.
No clue. I have no fucking idea. I genuinely still don't know which side Hamas is on. I have no clue.
I mean, comfortably dumb.
Yeah, ignorance is bliss,
Like
baby.
the Pink Floyd song. Yeah.
You nailed it. Yeah. Nah, it was funny too, because when I went to school, I was really into going to my government classes because I enjoyed the ideas of government and the conceptualities of learning about it. I had a cool professor who worked for W in the White House when he was in the White House, and now he was our federal government teacher. And then just everyone else makes you hate it.
Yeah, for sure. But people pay a lot of money for you to feel like that. So.
Yeah, that is very true. Sorry, Mom and Dad. $100,000 for such a shit college too. We were talking about that before. You can walk from corner to corner of a college campus that is a D1 college in 10 minutes. There's no parking. It's just stuffed in between a bunch of dairy cattle farms. It's a weird place.
We love cows. I don't know what to tell you.
Have you ever gone out and done a Granbury show yet?
A show in Granbury?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is there a venue out there?
There's I'm trying to remember his name. Jeremy Link puts on a productions out of a place in a back room out there, and it's really fun.
No, I didn't know about it.
I think I was on the first realm of him trying to do a comedy competition of his own, where the crowd does everything in the back, and it was a clean show, which was also a big thing for me because this was going back to earlier when you were saying finding your own personal wins.
Mm-hmm.
This was a win. I didn't know I had 8 clean minutes before I took this, and I went and took that, and I didn't even get to finish my jokes. Thankfully, it was really cool to see that and know that I have that in my back pocket and I can do clean.
For sure. That's the beauty of working at a place like Backdoor, like having Backdoor as like a home club, is because it requires you to be clean on the weekends.
Right.
So if you can just start like I like knowing what the box is, because now you know where the edge is. You know, like actually how to push.
Right.
You know where the line is. You can tiptoe it. And I think it just makes for, sharper writing. And, I'm not just, I don't only like clean comedy, but like I respect that Backdoor has kind of like trained me to like,
Yeah, because I was a little too loose with a lot of shit.
Shape my writing. Yeah, it just makes you. It's just more disciplined. It's just, and sometimes you can like, it's like, I'll give you an example. Like at Backdoor, like, so I used to have a joke about how I used to work at Freebirds, the burrito place, but I got fired for sticking my dick in the Spanish rice. is the crux of the joke,
right?
Yeah. I could never say that at a place like Backdoor.
No.
But I was like, okay. I used to work at Freebirds, and I got fired for impregnating the Spanish rice. Simultaneously, it becomes cleaner and dirtier at the same time.
Way funnier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but it took needing to like, go back and rewrite and trim fat and reshape, and it's nice having a place like Backdoor where you can work that muscle. Plus, like when you do like corporates, they for the most part want you to be clean for the most parts. But
right, yeah, no, I'm really glad that I started, because before you go to do it for your first time, as someone who was always a dirty comic, it's really I got really nervous before I went to go do it, because more so than my jokes being something where I say fuck in it or anything like that, I'm more worried about messing up my joke and accidentally saying shit. That was always my biggest thing, is I would drop all these curse words accidentally without even realizing it, up until the finally started going and regularly doing Backdoor, and it's made just my regular speech way better. I'm not accidentally almost cursing in front of my clients for my real job, which is, I didn't think comedy was going to keep me and make me a better person, but that's pretty neat. But yeah, it's really great to have somewhere where clean comedy is still kind of enforced. Because, I mean, when you're first starting out, I thought clean comedy was kind of gay. Just like a lot of comics starting out do. And then you just have nothing but respect for clean comics after a while. Like, Brian Regan is now one of my favorite comics of all time.
Oh, yeah, but you can sense how angry he is.
Oh,
if you really pay attention to what he's saying. Like,
it's a Bill Burr level of anger underneath.
Yeah, he's
all
seething.
That.
He's seething.
I feel like if you do clean comedy right, you really can't even tell the difference, almost, like you were saying.
For sure. You don't go into
No.
it being like, this was clean. Like, you don't notice. Yeah.
Maybe like a couple days later, you're like, oh, he didn't even say fuck in his set.
Well, that's like, I have one fuck in my set. Like, if I'm doing like a 45 that I'm like, I want this taped.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I've got one fucking, and I use it at the very end, so it really, really like accentuates it. But it's like, I would, they give you one fuck in a PG-13 movie.
Yeah.
So I would say like my act is almost like a PG-17.
Right.
Like, so it's like, it's not like raunchy. I'm not like talking about fucking,
And
jizz coming out of my eyes or anything.
It's funny too, because especially at least at the mic, they're a lot stricter about what is clean. In that, I knew what club clean was before I knew what backdoor clean was. In that, I thought I could get away with a lot of what I would get away with at a club at Backdoor until I sat down and talked to Kenny Lee. I had Kenny Lee give me the box you were talking about, like what can I say and not say, and if it weren't for places like that, our writing would suffer because you catch a lot more people using curse words as punchlines, which is something I catch at every single open mic.
Safety words too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes that's the whole, like, if they didn't say the word fuck, the joke would not hit, and it's like, that wasn't a great joke then, was it?
Yeah, I've had that. I've also had jokes where, like, the stereotypical, like, I throw my hands up like this, and then I do a head bob, and then that tells the audience, I guess it's time to laugh, and then I catch myself doing that, watching it back. I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, your own little laugh track.
Yeah,
your own little.
You really see it, and you're like, oh, I kind of just forced them to laugh. I might as well just held up a cue
Chappelle does
card.
that when he like slaps his thigh with the mic. A lot of black comics do that now. You see a lot of.
Well, just a lot of comics in general now. I see that all the time. Now that you brought that up, I hadn't even thought about that.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Fuck, you're gonna. I think there's a joke, especially where I do it.
I used to do a show. I actually, the Fillmore kind of wants us to bring it back, and I think we might have a second show at the Fillmore. But
Hey,
I did a
that's
show
awesome.
at DCC. I ran a show. It was stand-up bingo. So I would give the audience member a bingo card with like certain proclivities that like stand-ups use in their act.
Really?
Maybe unconsciously, like, says what else? Oh, there's a mine.
I had no
mentions
idea.
Netflix. So there's one. The mentions that the joke bombs. There's one.
It's hilarious that you say this because I had no idea you ever did this. I pitched that exact same show to DCC this last time they were asking for shows.
Oh my god,
that was my exact thing. Is like I'd go through a bingo card generator and just get a bunch of things that.
That was it. I had like
habits.
60 things, and I just put them in a generator, and it came up.
Yeah, I think eventually I'm gonna tweak it a little more and make it like a drinking-based comedy show, and then maybe pitch that to maybe. I think we're gonna start it off at Outfit and then make it a bar show. To make, I can't tell if I wanted to make it a crowd drinking game or the comic drinking game.
I would do both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't see why not. But I also don't want to get the bartenders in trouble for over-serving is part of the problem. You can get away with over-serving comics a little better than you can an entire crowd, I feel like.
You're playing with fire at that point. I can't condone that.
Yeah.
Over-serving, I don't think that's a...
As someone who's thrown up into a pint glass, I can see why you don't think that, Blake.
Ooh. That's classy.
Like every couple of weeks, we're like, Blake's doing a lot better in his drinking, and then we find out that he relapsed on a Sunday night. You're like, oh, Blake is once again doing a lot better on his drinking.
Yeah, I'm a week sober. Fuck you off.
You nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Nice. I'm 214 days sober.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Not consecutively. Not not in a row.
You still got me on that.
Yeah.
Since 18, I've been a pothead every single day. Living strong, baby. I miss pothead movies. Like, I haven't seen like our generation's Harold and Kumar yet.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, I think it's also a dying art, much like.
Yeah. That's why I'm doing podcast producing.
I know every single movie now is about the multiverse, but there's not one buddy comedy anymore. Like, there's no more people trying to make Dumb and Dumbers or anything like that.
Yeah, but I mean, those movies don't need to be replicated, do they?
No, they don't.
I don't want it to be replicated. I just want the same, like, vibe I got from it. Like,
Yeah,
50
it's never
First
gonna
Dates.
happen. All those movies are like, a reflection of the times, and the times have changed.
Those are
Yeah, it's true.
Netflix movies now. No studio's going to be like, hey, let's give like the shit a big release.
Oh, I see what you
You
mean.
know.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I guess it's just because we have such a opportunity to always have different movies now, and that there aren't blockbuster films anymore. I mean, Deadpool was one, but like for a minute, every movie that was a blockbuster was from an app.
Well, I mean, now the whole movie industry, if it's going to go to theaters, it has to be a blockbuster, or else they're not going to send it to theaters
Right.
because it's just not worth the money.
Yeah, did you see that Sony bought out Alamo right after they went under?
Yeah.
That's kind of nice. At least someone's taking over that. I don't want to lose any more movie theaters.
I was thinking about opening up a movie theater.
In your apartment?
No,
During-
actually,
where at?
probably like Denton or Louisville.
Not like a drive-in or what?
No.
Oh,
not
okay.
drive-in, like an actual.
Or you want to start a drive-in?
Well, I did stand-up at a drive-in during the pandemic.
Really?
Yeah.
How did that
People
go?
honking on horns and shit.
There was a lot of that window wiping.
Wow.
Like I came up, and it was interesting because it was like, you're the stage is huge. It was like in Frisco, like at the Star where the
Oh, yeah.
Cowboys, play or practice or whatever. And then there was a huge stand-up. I mean, you felt like you're Benito Mussolini. You see like a 100-foot version of you with a microphone up there. But like, since there was no people, since there's no people, like I caught myself like yelling all my act, But then I was like, I could catch myself in real time. Oh, they can hear me in their car, like. But yeah, I would just get up there. Where are my Japanese manufacturers at? Or where are my EVs at? They'd honk.
Yeah, it
But
kind
it
of gives
was-
you a
yeah.
different variety of jokes to be able to tell.
Yeah, it was cool though. It was a different time doing comedy back then. That's the thing about Texas. We only took maybe 6 weeks off of comedy whenever all this happened.
Yeah.
And everything was kind of open. He was opening at like 25% capacity, but
Yeah, and there were, in Texas especially, there were weird loopholes to get away with it. Like, I worked at a car wash, and I was technically an essential worker for that whole time. So, like, I worked that whole pandemic
yeah.
after I lost my job at the restaurant I worked at. But, that was a nice door to shut to crawl through a window.
Yeah, comedy was cool then because my favorite crowd, the best crowds to me are rain crowds. When it rains, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good show.
Oh, it pushes people all inside?
Not that, but they have a choice. They're like, it's raining, the weather's bad.
And
I'm not going to go.
They
Like,
still sought out the comedy.
exactly.
Okay,
So they
yeah.
really want to laugh tonight.
Yeah,
'Cause it makes. I mean, if it's raining too bad, I'm like, I'm not going. It's gonna. They really want to. So during COVID,
We got to move to Seattle.
yeah, during COVID, these people were like, oh, I'm risking it all. I really need comedy. So those shows
I need to
were
get the hell away
rocking
from my family.
during COVID. Yeah.
You still seeing people driving around with masks on and shit?
Every once in a while.
I'll see maybe once a month.
Denton,
Somebody
it's
in a
still
mask.
bad. I see
Well-
homeless people walking around with
Well,
masks and
COVID's
shit.
going back up. Numbers
That's what
are
I was
going
about to
back
say.
up.
It's COVID's coming back a little bit, so I can see them coming back with. If this was 6 months ago when people were still wearing masks, those are crazy people. But yeah, now it's coming back, and apparently it's coming back with a vengeance.
Cool.
Yeah, great,
Awesome.
Yeah, we just need everything to shut down again.
Look at you, Mr. Informed.
Doesn't know shit about Palestine, but when it comes to COVID,
Do you want me giving you facts about Palestine and Israel right now? I feel
no,
like,
not really.
I feel like every other white man is doing it just enough. I don't know. I don't like having political opinions because I look the way I do. My face screams thin blue lines, and I know that. So
And your neighborhood screams thin blue lines.
yeah, dude. I like to call it. It's we're in a level of cargo short whites. It's all cargo short and barefoot whites.
Yeah.
They walk their dogs barefoot. I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh, yikes.
I'm just gonna start throwing broken bottles out in the front yard.
Go in the pool and take a bath. Basically, that's their wash off.
Warsaw. Oh man. Fuck, I'm trying to. I had something just then. Oh, if you had to pick one superpower, what superpower would you pick?
The ability to. Am I living in a world where other people have superpowers?
You create your own world.
Um,
If you can be the only one with superpowers, and you can just be the coolest guy, or you could be the coolest guy with a different power.
well, that's because in the X-Men, I like the girl who can just take everybody's power.
Oh, what's her name?
I don't know, I forgot her name, but to me, I was like, that's the best one.
Did you ever? Oh, have you ever gotten into the HBO superhero shows they did, like Doom Patrol?
No,
There was, if you're into superheroes like that, there was a show called Doom Patrol.
I'm not. I don't want to mislead you because I
Oh,
said
okay.
I saw Deadpool earlier, but
Fair
like,
enough.
I'm not that superhero guy.
Okay. That's my dorkiness coming out.
Oh boy, you've seen all the Marvels.
Not all of them. Oh well, I'm gonna take that back. I haven't seen.
Oh,
I've
boy.
seen all of them, but the newer ones.
He's seen all of them, but Phase 3. Yeah,
Now,
Phase
as
3,
a
yeah.
film connoisseur, aren't you offended by him?
Hey, but
Contributing
we
to this
fucking
culture of.
we keep together on the Quentin Tarantino stuff.
Yeah, that is true.
I am a film buff of sorts, but I have my nerdy. I like Pokemon. And I like superheroes.
Is this your favorite Quentin movie?
It changes all the time. This is one of the ones that stands the test of time. But I think right now it's Reservoir Dogs again.
Oh, nice. I've noticed that I like music that, like, if I close my eyes, I can imagine it being in a Kill Bill or like in a Quentin Tarantino movie.
Oh yeah. So that's funny you say that. I kind of like to quote unquote write movies in my head just based off of listening to songs. Like if I was listening to the song, what would the scene be?
Right.
And also do my best to make it the opposite of what people would expect. Like I love putting. Never mind. I was about to give a Deadpool spoiler.
Uh-oh.
But
I knew it was coming too.
But like, what's another one? Groove is in the Heart. I've seen that as a fight scene background song.
Oh wow.
That was hilarious. I loved that because it wasn't Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah, you like the juxtaposition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they were able to fit the choreography along with the lulls of the song, shit like that. I'm like, that's I love doing shit like that. Like there's a song I've been listening to recently.
Yeah. Each script I write, I have a song or two that like I theme the script on.
Oh really? You do too?
Yeah.
Or you do too?
Yeah.
Jesus. Apparently that's what Scorsese does too.
Yeah.
That's how he does a lot of his
That's
movies.
what Sorkin does too. The guy does West Wing, Few Good Men.
That's Sorkin,
okay.
Scorsese, and Smith.
All S's.
But I like to find weird songs I've never heard of, like this one, "Nights Are Forever Without You" by England Dan and John Forgy, I think. Oh, John Ford Colley. A song I'd never heard of. It's just like it's like a folky song. We'll have to. My dream goal is to have a very aggressive movie. It's like an action movie, but with all yacht rock as the soundtrack,
Oh,
and it
cool.
just fits perfectly.
That'd be cool. Yeah,
Hey.
nice concept.
Just weird shit.
Yeah.
So do you have a specific director? This is where Blake gets hard. Do you have a specific director you like to watch their movies of?
Are you a movie guy?
I like Paul Thomas Anderson.
Oh, I love PTA.
Yeah.
Will you pull him up? Because I
Yep.
probably know his work, but
There Will Be
Boogie Nights.
Blood.
Yeah.
oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, There Would Be Blood's a great fucking movie.
Yeah. The Master.
Licorice Pizza, that was
Licorice
his new one.
Pizza's his newest one.
I'm gonna have to. I need to start doing this more. Like, eventually, we want to branch off and create movies with Dingbats where we have a guest on and they pick the movie that we watch and give our ideas on it. This is all Blake's brain baby.
I'm still.
Oh, I'm right there with you. I just behind the silver curtain. I can't pay you to run a second podcast.
Oh,
right now.
I would do that one for free.
Oh, why are we not talking? We'll get about this. But this is something where I'd love to have you come on with a movie you had in mind where a whole lot of people haven't seen it, and then that be how I start
hell
getting
yeah.
these new movies.
Have you seen Magnolia?
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. I don't know if.
I'll tell you another one is Christopher Guest. I love Christopher. I mean, Best in Show is my favorite movie of all time.
Oh, that's kind of the spoof
With the dog show.
Yeah, that's one of
Yeah.
my dad's favorite shows of all time.
That's
that and
that.
Spinal Tap.
Yeah, that's the same guy.
Yeah, turn it up to 11. Yeah. He used to quote Spinal Tap at me all the time.
Yeah. I love his movies. A Mighty Wind, Waiting for Guffman.
Yeah, these are all movies that my dad sits there like, you haven't seen these movies still?
But Best in Show for me is I could watch that movie every day.
Princess Bride too.
Wait, really? Oh, wow.
No, I don't think he did. I think it was he just in it? Did he do Princess Bride?
I don't know. I know William Goldman wrote it.
Wow, 96 on Rotten Tomatoes.
That's a good.
Yeah, it was
fucking-
Rob Reiner.
Oh yeah, yeah, it is. He probably produced
Yeah, it was
it.
Christopher Guest.
Oh, he was
in
starring
it.
in
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Those Castle Rock back in the day. It was Rob Reiner's production company.
Yeah, Rob Reiner. I mean, he was in Spinal Tap too. Yeah, he was the guy doing the documentary.
Oh, yeah,
He's made
yeah.
some great fucking movies too. A Few Good Men, Stand By Me.
Blake, scroll down a little
yeah.
to the cast. Who's this? Oh, wow.
Yeah, Robert Reiner.
I was looking at Carrie
That's
Ells.
the Princess Bride.
Oh yeah, Andre the Giant was in it too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Wallace Shawn. I just saw My Dinner with Andre for the first time. Dude, I'll tell you a good one that I saw recently from like the fucking 50s. 12 Angry Men.
Oh, really?
That is
I
a
love
great.
12 Angry Men. I love any movie where it's like a single location, and they just like The Strangers. That was a great horror movie. Just all inside a house. But 12 Angry Men, it's just all inside a room. They're just deliberating.
Just great writing and
Just
great acting.
Great, yeah. And the message is just timeless.
Yeah.
I mean,
Did you get into that movie Bullet Train at all when that came out?
I saw it. I liked
I haven't seen it.
I liked it because it reminded me of Tarantino, but in the same thing. I like movies that have a setting where the movie might be 2 hours and the setting of the movie takes place over 3 hours or something like that. I like where there's not like days and days and days and days and context and story to keep writing. In that, on Bullet Train, you're just watching this train go from I'm not even gonna try one spot or one part of Japan to the other, and that train ride is what the movie like takes place in.
Yeah, so like in real time the whole time.
Real time the whole time. It's chapter based, which is why it reminds me of Tarantino in that you go from car to car, chapter to chapter, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also where like 6 guys are also the main character at one time. They're the main character in their chapter, and then they all meet up eventually. Like kind of how we did Pulp Fiction, like how everyone becomes their own integral piece.
Yeah,
to
I
the
like
story.
that. It was like a written herald. You guys know about heralds? Like, so like in improv, Del Close, who's kind of like the father of like modern improv, like back in like the 60s, you know, he started like Improv Olympic up in Chicago, and you know, he worked with the guys, you know, started Second City and all that. He came up with the herald, where you're basically, you know, you're writing, acting, and directing a 3-act play on the spot, and it's kind of designed to where you like have 3 separate worlds that you've like built in this improv scene, and then at the very last minute you like tie it together to make them realize that they were all in the same universe the whole time, like, you know, through like callbacks or like tagging in, and you know, so like a herald that's like done really well is it's like magic to watch. I mean, it's
like Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction's great.
That's it's beautiful, and a lot of like if you break down like Seinfeld episodes or like Curb Your Enthusiasm episodes, it's just a herald, like the way one little detail will have like a through line throughout the whole thing, and like come back and be like what they close it with, you know?
Right. That's exactly what I was about to say. It sounds like if you wrote a perfect callback bit to close on.
Yeah, exactly.
In studying screenwriting, as long as I have, that's when you are writing at your best. Everything that you write has a purpose. Every piece of dialogue has a purpose.
Yeah, that's why like I like Community so well, or like Arrested Development. I mean, that's
great up until Netflix.
That show, that show was doing like call forwards at a certain point, like where they were like planting the seeds for something that would happen like a season later.
Oh yeah, they were writing in the foreshadowing.
It was really, and then I didn't even realize the guy that did that, Mitch Hurwitz, was a writer on Golden Girls.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't know that. Yeah. I'm just now getting around to. I'm glad I waited. I never watched Seinfeld growing up. My dad didn't.
Oh, I'm rewatching everything because I'm showing my wife for the first time right now.
Oh, dude,
that's awesome.
So
I just now, post starting stand up, watched it for the first time. That show is awesome.
Yeah, that show's timeless. That's evergreen.
Oh God, that and like, did you ever go and watch Louie, the TV show he made? It's very similar.
Yeah, I mean, I was watching it when it was on air. I was obsessed with it.
Like I said earlier, we didn't have those cable packages or anything, so I never even knew that was a thing. And at some point, I found Louis through his specials, and I was just this ultimate Louis fan without having ever watched the show. Friend gave me his login code to get behind his paywall. I've probably watched that show now 3 times. It's skipping some episodes that I don't want to see, but that's very few and far between.
I mean, they were like mini movies that he was creating. I mean, really, really beautiful stuff.
Yeah, there's a reason that he's taken, in my opinion, he's taken a GOAT spot up there with Chappelle. Like,
oh yeah,
I don't. People that say Louis C.K. or Dave Chappelle are my favorite, I'm like, all right, you're just saying names you've heard.
When Louis came back from his cancellation, the very first show he did was at the Addison Improv.
That was the first one?
Yeah, that was his first thing. He came back, and we bought tickets to go see it. It was incredible. The very first thing he said on stage was,
I'm sorry.
I used to do theaters.
Did you watch him live from MSG?
This most recent one? No, I didn't see it. I didn't see like maybe his last 2. The ones that are behind the paywall I never saw.
I think me and a friend had a viewing party here, and God damn it, was it awesome. I do remember the opener not doing especially well, but Adriana Appalucci, She did amazing to right before Louis. Louis came on and fucking murdered. It was like, I think that was also the first show I've sat down and watched in the round too. So like, I didn't know how it actually went. I didn't know how shows in the round went. I just heard tales of shows in the round are hell for an inexperienced person.
Oh, like when everybody's around you?
Yeah.
That kind of shit? Like Dane Cook?
Were you a Dane Cook guy?
Who wasn't?
I wasn't.
Dude, he's got some classic bits, like the Kool-Aid Man.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
To be honest, I couldn't even tell you. Like,
Now,
I got put on to comedy really late for as much as I love it.
He was almost like a Jeff Dunham, like you liked him whenever you were younger.
for sure. If
he
you
was
were
an
in
entry level.
If you were in high school
Yeah.
and you heard Dane Cook for the first time, you were obsessed.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, he had this great. I still think about this one bit that he did where he talks about like whenever you cry, like you know you'll never like cry. Like it's hard to cry in your car because you're just so like egocentric. You think everybody's like looking at you, and so you like hold it in, and then you like finally get home, and as soon as you open the door, you like check and make sure, hello, anybody in here? And then once you realize there's not, you just let out this huge cry. And then he was like, the heightened part was he was like, and then you do this thing where you go and look at yourself in a mirror, and you just try to make yourself cry even harder. It's
Okay, now I need to go back and watch this because the last time I cried, I thought if he got to that point where you go look at yourself in the mirror, I'm like, all right, now I'm in. That was when I did the last time I cried. I had to go
Watch
it.
a podcast with him. I think he did one with Steve-O, and him and Steve-O are cool enough to where Steve-O asked him about like all the shit that happened with him, about like his rise and then his fall. His brother stole all of his fucking money,
yeah,
which is insane.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny too because like as much as I love Dane Cook, I only knew him for his movies. Like I knew him from Waiting,
Chuck.
Good Luck Chuck, and Employee of the Month.
Yeah,
I love
Employee
those
of the
movies so much. I don't know what it was, but I was a young boy. I was a pussy for a rom-com.
It's weird that he was like the romantic lead too.
I
of
know
all
it makes
people.
sense. He's a tall, charming, good-looking,
Yeah.
funny guy. That makes sense. And he's energetic. He wasn't a douchebag.
Oh, he was kind of a douchebag.
Well, okay,
Yeah, that
wrong,
was his whole
wrong
thing.
choice of words.
He wore
Yeah.
like studded jeans. And shit.
I meant to say asshole.
Yeah.
He wasn't an asshole to people. He was a nice guy, but he was a douchebag.
Yeah, he's a douchebag.
But he was a nice one.
Yeah, nice douchebag.
But one of those specials, he is in the round, and he's just like, going around. It's good though. They still hold up.
That's like really how he got his following. He was so good to his fans early on.
Yeah, he was on
He's
the
al-
MySpace train.
Yeah.
He was doing he was interacting with people, and
Yeah,
was
he's-
like kind of the first guy to use the internet
Yeah,
to his
he's
advantage.
always been super good to his fans, and people come back and watch. If they're a Dane Cook fan, they're a Dane Cook fan
Right.
for a reason.
Yeah, and I think Joe List monikered it, but ADI, for all those people that come in, another Dane impression, that just kind of latch on to his cadence. It's probably lesser now that he's
I'm sure, yeah,
not
lesser now for sure.
Yeah.
But he was saying, like, when he was starting stand-up in the, I guess, mid-aughts is when Joe List started. He was, like, every other open micer was like, oh, ADI, another Dane. He was just calling them all
I
out.
could see that. But
Dude, he was huge for about like 5 years there.
yeah,
5
for
10
sure.
years.
Like 03 to
Yeah.
08 maybe.
Right.
02,
Yeah.
07, something like that.
Did you ever get into Robert Kelly?
No, I know I couldn't tell you a single Robert Kelly joke, but I mean,
To be honest, I couldn't tell you either. I've seen a couple of his specials now, but his podcast is really fun to listen to, YKWD.
okay.
And it kind of turns out, like, if you go back and look at his timestamps, he was maybe not the originator, but one of the first people ever doing podcasts. And that's when he was on Tourgasm with Dane. So that's how I get a
see.
lot of my learning about Dane was from Robert Kelly's inside perspective of Dane.
Right.
So I've also heard just the megalomaniac that he is, and like all of this, like, what was it? Oh, he was doing a improv show to go in between some band, their improv show, and then Spin Doctors.
Spin Doctors, yeah.
Spin Doctors, yeah. They were at a Spin Doctors concert, and to break up the monotony of the music, it was an improv show at this huge fucking venue. And Dane's big idea was like, we're all going to be wearing different colored T-shirts so they know we're different people. And we're all going to play freeze tag on stage in front of this large crowd of people. And everyone in, I think their name was Alan the Monkeys at the time, Dane's group. It was like, this is a terrible idea. We're not going to get this off at a fucking concert. And he's like, we're going to do it. And they were playing freeze tag. And to everyone's surprise, it worked out just fine because Dane was doing a great job. That was another thing. It was like everyone talks about Dane's stand-up, but what Robert Kelly was saying is that no one talks about how he was so influential with improv. Like, because that's where he started, too. In that,
Oh,
and
really? I
that's,
didn't know he was an improv guy.
yeah, they had this improv group from all the Boston comics, the Patrice O'Neills, the Robert Kellys.
Patrice O'Neil did improv?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god!
They
I
got
had no
him.
idea.
They got him into improv.
Damn, I thought he was straight.
I know I could not even imagine
He
him doing
dabbled.
improv.
He definitely did. That's.
But yeah, it was like
I think improv helps you. If you like, when I think about how quick I was to get comfortable on stage, I attribute it to improv because I was like willing to like commit to these, characters saying, so I was like, I already knew I had that. So when I started doing stand up, I wasn't afraid to so I think it kind of helps you. But I don't know if you started stand up and then do improv, I don't know how much it would help. It probably would help like a little bit, just like saying yes to things or like if there's an absurdity in the room, like acknowledging it, But
I almost feel like it would benefit you more in the improv and be like, because there are a lot of funny improv people, but improv people you can kind of tell in their way of comedy. You can almost tell it's improv based when they're just improv people. But if you come in with like a stand-up way of doing things, like tone, I guess, I feel like it'd bring like a nice pitch to an improv group. Like just have a completely different, I guess, ideal in how you write your funny.
Yeah, I guess you're probably right. I don't know. I feel like true improv purists probably hate like stand-ups coming in because they have this bits pre-planned. They're trying to shoehorn material in. Dude, I went when first time I went to New York. I went to go see an improv show at Upright Citizens Brigade, and it was like 12:30 in the middle of the night. There was 4 people in the crowd. It was the best improv I've ever seen in my life.
That's funny.
And I was just like, holy shit, this level is doing it right. I mean, the thing about improv is, only 25% of it's good,
Yeah.
But that's nice because people give you the benefit of the doubt. They're like, well, they are making it all up on the spot,
True, and it's one of those crowds where you've got like 20% of a demographic, but those 20% are, like we were talking about earlier, they're big improv fans. Like, they love improv a lot, so they'll keep going. So you've at least got that demographic. I feel like stand-up comedy is probably a little bit better about dragging in random people that are just looking for something to do, maybe, than improv. I might be wrong in that.
You mean like performing or just being a fan of stand-up?
No, just like I get more like audience retention in performing. So I feel like if I had a stand-up show that was going on at the same time as an improv comedy show, I feel like the stand-up comedy show would get more walking traction. Like, more people will come in from the street.
Oh, yeah. That's a fair assessment, yeah.
Because improv is its own thing. Like, you've got to be... My dad's been to an improv show, and he's like, oh, I never would have thought to ever be an improv fan if I hadn't gotten that free ticket to that show, but now I want to go all the time. But, like, stand-up, especially at least now with social media, stand-up's way bigger than it's been in a long time.
Yeah, for sure. I was 3 years into stand-up before I got a social media.
Oh, really?
I was like, I just want to get funny first before I try to like promote myself or try to.
That's a good way of doing it.
Yeah, this is very smart, actually.
Yeah, so I
go back and look at the clips I posted for me doing the fucking Comedy Arena open mic, and I just wish someone was like,
"You're not
hey.
alone there." I see a lot of those videos.
But
Hey,
that's a
dickhead.
good
A lot of
thing,
people
though.
need to take those down.
If you're going back and looking at your old shit and you don't like it, and that means you're getting better.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Well, it makes me laugh to think about. So before this ever happened, Blake and I were talking about this happening, and he had reached out and like, dude, I think you're funny, and he had told me the bit that he saw on my Instagram, and even at the time, it was the, oh fuck, I remember the punchline. I was like, you think I can afford surgery? I can't afford syrup. Like, that was the punchline of the joke. I'm like, that's why you like me?
No, I remember the joke. It was you're talking about getting shoulder surgery, and you're like, I just sold my semen and blood for my groceries this week.
Yeah.
Like,
I
you
just
think
sold semen and blood for grocery money. You think I can afford surgery?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I like the first one better with the syrup.
I know,
She
it's
go back-
simpler.
Yeah, should go back to the other one.
Yeah. I cut it all together, but it makes me laugh because I think about that sometimes. Like, man, If I had gone with my instinct of not liking my own jokes, I would not have a podcast right now.
No.
Thank God Blake's a persistent guy. And I gave you your time after the fucking movie. That movie took a toll on him. He gained a decent bit of weight, and he
70
was...
pounds.
70 pounds?
Said that was the final number.
Jesus Christ. Well, buddy, you wore 70 extra pounds well. I'll give you that. You looked a lot better for a lot more, for all that weight, but...
70 pounds, $7,000.
Oh, okay.
$7,000.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so I'm going to have to start saving
Art
a lot
is
more.
a harsh mistress.
Yeah.
It is.
She can be very good to you, and she can
It's
backhand you like a
derailed
fucking
my
cuck.
career. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone said this to you yet, but you seem a lot happier, and I'm happy.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
obviously I knew it was the stress of script working, but I could tell there was something else there. But now that I guess you've gotten your hands in other
Yeah.
areas, you seem a lot happier than you were.
I'm about to make a full comeback. That's the crazy part.
Hell yeah.
I didn't think I was going to, not this quick.
Have you, we were talking about revitalizing that old script. Of,
I was going to talk, I kind of want to finish it before we do our podcast together and send it to you, see, you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That could definitely be a part of our episode for sure.
Yeah.
Well, we've just been sitting here rambling.
This is our longest episode.
Yeah, and I am about to pee my pants. But before I go and do that, will you go ahead and plug up your social media and once again plug up the Fillmore show you've got coming up and all the Cowabunga shows so we can get that clipped up for you?
Yeah, I'm at Vinnie and the Jokes on IG. Yeah, come to check me out. I put all my show dates right there on the bio. Yeah, we're always working. We're always in the city. Check out at Cowabunga Comedy. That's the shows we run in Plano, and those are some magical nights. I mean, those nights are magic. And now we're getting to the point where we're taping everybody's set.
Oh, really?
So we have crowd mics. So we're really trying to take this thing to the next level.
That's awesome. And if you missed it earlier, he's got an audience retention rate where all of his fans keep coming back. So there's a reason.
Honestly, some people, they show up 2 hours early just to make sure that they can get a spot because they know it will be at capacity. It will be standing room only.
That's
so
badass. So y'all make sure you get to the Cowabunga shows and the Fillmore on September 16th?
No, the Addison Improv is
right.
September 18th.
September 18th.
Yeah. And then if you use the code Cowabunga, you get a discount.
Oh, hey. Okay.
So, hey.
There you go. So,
come on out.
Vinnie and the Jokes on Instagram. He's got the Addison Improv show Sunday 18th. They're always working shows out of the Fillmore through the Cowabunga show. So y'all go check that out, and please go check a show. His shows are great. And for me, follow me on Instagram at pbailey_comedy and the Dingbat District Pod. Follow us on YouTube if you're not already, please. It helps get our viewers up. And, I've got September 1st, the Fort Brewery show out here in Fort Worth. I'll be hosting. It's a free show. Please come out. They got great beer, great pizza, great prices, and a great lineup for this comedy show. And I'll wait on that one. But, Blake, do you have anything you want to promote?
No.
Okay. All right.
Aren't you doing the American Badass reunion tour?
Yeah, kicking ass and taking names
Yeah,
at every...
Ball with a ball, baby.
Badass and black.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys. Y'all please come back. Bye.